But then there are people who are like, okay, well, you're a girl, and then A, you're playing Mercy, you're boosted bitch, or B,
Yeah.
you're not playing Mercy, what the fuck are you doing?
Get on Mercy. Go play something you're good at, or like something gay like that. Yeah, like. But honestly, I've gotten to the point where like, I don't even talk in comp. Like, I'll only talk if I'm like help Reinhardt or something like that. If he's like getting like damaged or something, I'll say something like that. But I don't talk in comp.
Endorsements, I've heard a lot more girls in voice chat.
Yeah, and we want that endorsement shit.
Somebody get Bulbasaur in here.
He's in here, I think. Right?
In the game?
No. Oh no, I'm not in the game here. 1 sec.
I was gonna say give me Genji, but nah, I'll take Tracer. That's good. Actually, let me take Pharah. All right, probably should go over.
For this map,
we'll go Hunter after this.
Yeah. For this map, I really don't think that we should run Zarya.
This hop map, I don't think it's very good.
Okay, next map, please.
Shut up. I think that the only map that Zarya is good on is it Sanctum? The one with the thing in the middle?
Give
me 1 sec. So too. I feel like we shouldn't be doing this in game because when you're talking about something, we're not going to be seeing it. I think we should start a private call and then we can share our screen. Like whoever wants to draw on their like their computer can like share their screen and then we can talk about exactly how we want to like go about it, like on like a top-down view. That's
I'm not sure how to do that.
Do you want me to do it?
I can do it.
I know how to do it.
Go ahead and do it. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
You can do it if you want.
I'm in game.
Alright, let me start a private call with all you beautiful
You just tried to shoot me.
people.
But I'm on your team.
Missed.
Alright, let me invite everybody else.
Accept my friend request and I can... Heck.
Hello.
Hi, accept my friend request and I'll invite them all.
Give me 1 sec. Where are you? There.
Okay, hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Invite.
Alright, I'm gonna add
invite
Taylor
Kobe.
in here real quick.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Add to DMs. Add. Okay.
Share screen or window. I want to share my window.
Okay, I think we're good. Okay, there's your screen.
There we go.
Uh,
Alright. Okay, so let me open it up.
right, okay. Make sure you get Nepal in there.
Nepal, here we go.
Hey.
And we are on village right now, so it's
Yeah, okay, so
the
it's on
first
very
one.
left.
Yep. Okay, so regardless of what side we're on, right? It doesn't really matter what side we're on. So what is the first thing you want to go over? Like I think it's best to go over what team comp we would prefer to play or what they would probably play, and then we decide on like how we're gonna play it.
So on Nepal, in on Village, that's what it's called. They're probably gonna run goats, like if I'm being perfectly honest, and it's kind of a tough. Why? Because there's not a lot of high ground where they can like get the advantage on us, and even with the high ground that they have, we can easily walk up onto it with a Lucio, because the Lucio is what the Lucio enables goats. It enables the goats comp, and if you can get from one place to another really quick, so if you're coming from the top right through the doorway right over here, you can easily go take the high ground if they're up there, or if they're like in this area right here, and then you can get like a few picks off there if somebody's in position, like out of position, my bad.
Right.
In that area, you can either drop down, go through this way, and go on to the bottom of the point. And then you can take the fight there with the man advantage. And all you have to do is literally hold W and M1, and you guys should be able to like get that pick off, whoever that key target is that you're calling out. Maybe it's the Brigitte or it's whoever's discorded by Zen. But Zen will be calling out who like you guys want to be focusing in that fight. That's his number one priority in team fights.
So now, if we're gonna talk about them playing goats, right? That means obvious goats comp, right? So, would it even be worth us playing goats against it? I don't, because the only thing I could say, sorry to interrupt, but the only thing I can say is the reason why I would want to run goats back is because that's like really the only viable comp that can run Lucio back. And if they take positioning first with goats, we're in a bad spot because we won't make it before they do if they take top.
So we could run goats comp into them and like right here, and then just go top right. Let's see, right here. You just go top right and then like take the fight over to them.
But like if they're running goats with a speed boost, how do we stop them if we're not running?
Well, like we would be running the mirror comp, right? Like that's one way we could counter them, and we just like play war of attrition really. Like we just hold W and M1. We focus like one of their key targets before they focus on one of ours, and like we just take it from there.
Do you honestly think that's the best course of action?
No, that is not the best course of action. That's the only time like I do that is when I didn't know what to do, and I just felt like everybody would be like a little bit triggered or like tilted, and where mechanics really like couldn't be like used to the fullest extent, and you just run like an easy comp to try and run them over.
Okay.
What I would do if it were me, where I would pick Junkrat, Pharah, Rein, Zarya, and then Mercy, and then either Zen or Brigitte, whichever one like would be more beneficial like in that team fight. I honestly wouldn't know because I'm not a support player.
We've tried doing Mercy Bridget a lot. It just like it really doesn't work that well.
I don't think
there's not enough healing. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So like the Pharah has to really carry that game. Like the Pharah really has to be like very confident in herself to like win that team fight every single time to be able to do it. So if it were me, I would just run like standard Zen Mercy, Rein Zarya, and then or Rein D.Va, whichever you want to do if you don't want to have that easy combo. If the Pharah thinks like they can get a barrage off without having a combo needed, and then Pharah and Junkrat. What I would do is in that situation. Actually, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so like if that's the case, like if we're gonna run Junk Pharah, if we know that they're gonna be playing goats, then more than likely we're gonna play like Zenyatta. I don't think running Bridget with the Mercy is a good idea.
Okay.
But on top of that, do you really honestly think that this is something I was thinking about yesterday, right? So maybe Koth is different, but like every map I started really thinking about it, and almost every single map I came to the conclusion that D.Va is honestly just a better pick than Zarya. I think.
Well, here's the thing: a really good Zarya will, like on the enemy team, will get her ulti up so fast because there's probably gonna be spam on like on our side. That's like it's gonna feed the Zarya no matter what. Like you can't blame. Like if we have a Junkrat and they have a Zarya, the Zarya's gonna be and a Pharah actually. But Pharah can kind of be like, okay, I'm gonna wait until the low's gone and then I'm gonna like start firing. But Junkrat, he doesn't have that luxury. He has to keep spamming. Like it's his job. Even if it means charging up the Zarya, because if you can get that shield down, it's a better pick. Or if you can make them use their cooldowns, it's a better pick. If you can make Mercy get that res off because of some random Junkrat trap and then just random Junkrat spam with a mine, that's a huge advantage that we have. Because they won't have res for the next team fight. And then you can make a coordinated push and assault onto whoever you guys want to take out if we're playing like a Goats comp.
So okay, so then if that's the case, like do you think like specifically on this point, right? If we know they're running goats, do you think it's better to just straight up play Ryan
Yeah,
Zarya?
I would just mirror them honestly.
Like, well, not
I mean, not mirror, my bad. No, I would run like the Zarya. I would run the Winston.
Run Zarya, Zarya.
I would run Rein Zarya. If I can tell, like, okay, their Zarya's not that good, or she's not that comfortable, or maybe she's just not getting enough charge on D.Va. I mean, not on D.Va, like any like ult. I mean, a bubble charge for her like energy. well, Vadiva's not gonna be as scared to engage because she's gonna be like a low charge, like maybe if Vazaria has less than 20 charge, I'm not afraid of her. If I was
Yeah,
Diva.
of course.
I would take that advantage because Vazaria is probably gonna overcommit. She's gonna use her resources, and it's gonna be an easy like pick battle.
Right. The only thing that I see that is scary is that if they're running goats and we're not, and we're playing Rein Zarya and they're running Bridget, I think that that's going to be a massive issue for our Reinhardt.
It is, but if we have Vazaria to get that bubble off every single time you see the Bridget's gonna be able to like do the shield bash, that Bridget's probably gonna overcommit for the shield bash because she's gonna try and get it off. But Ryan's gonna be like, oh shit, my Bridget already called. Okay, shield bash. I mean, I shield bashed. Hit Q. So that's 2 abilities they have down. That's a major shatter that they don't have anymore. In that situation, Brig shield bash is gonna be down for the next 8 seconds, if I'm right. If we're Reinhardt, what? It's 6? Okay. Man, they really didn't buff that. I mean, nerf that.
Nope.
Anyway, so if the Reinhardt keeps his shield, like if you're a Reinhardt, keeps the shield up, then you guys will have the advantage because that brigade's already out of position. It's a 600 HP shield. If you guys just focus, if everybody focus fires for 2 seconds, that shield's gonna be down. And then all you have to do is focus the brigade as well. As long as you keep a Discord on her, it'll be, it's a GG right there. I know you guys might like know that I'm talking about Discords a lot, but in this meta, like I hope it's not getting annoying, but in this meta really, the Discord does make the play. Like if you guys can focus whoever's Discorded, especially if they're out of position, that's a GG right there. So back to the Pharah Junkrat kind of strat if they're running goats. So say it's the start of the match, we pick their heroes, and we're about to take the fight. So sometimes you just kind of have to realize where we're gonna go as a goats comp. We don't really have the luxury of like people in like contenders or Overwatch League to internally scrim the people we know we're gonna be playing, so we can figure out like what they want to run. So for me, I always like going. It's kind of a risky situation. It could be a 50-50. If this is the first map, I would go straight to point. But if it's like the second map that we've played them, then I would go top right, depending on if I know they're aggressive or not. If I know they're acting like little bitches, then I'm gonna go straight onto point because they're not gonna take that engagement. And if they do take the engagement, they're probably not gonna have the comms that are strong enough to focus fire down who we need to like get down. So if it were me and I was, let's say I'm playing Brigade right now, and I'm gonna be the one who's probably gonna be doing the main shot calling as Brigade. I'm gonna say right now, okay, I'm gonna say, okay, Lucio, you're gonna not speed boost until we get to this position right here. This position right here is when we would speed boost onto point, because we want that advantage. So I'm probably gonna take left side, and I'm gonna try and get right here with like us as a team, and I'm gonna see, okay, where are they gonna go? Because instinctively, not a lot of people will be taking this side, because it's like, it's close, I mean, not closer, it's closed off in the sense there's not a lot of room to like go. And if you get into this, if you're pushed back into this room, that's a lost team fight already right there, in this room right here. So that's bad. Whereas in this area right here, you have so much areas where you could like back off. Or upper as well. Like you could go upper this way, or you could back off and regroup, and you could have your Rein shield right here to like block off the enemy. So let me clear up the screen just a bit. So let's say we're holding this position right here where my mouse is, where this arrow is right here. They're probably gonna be right here. Okay, well, here's the Reinhardt shield right here. Let me put that on a different color. Here is the Reinhardt shield right here. We're gonna make it blue. And they're trying to whittle down our Reinhardt shield, which is right here. So they're gonna try and win the shield battle against us if they don't know what to do. In the meantime, the point's gonna unlock already. So either A, they're gonna let us take the point, like for first few percentage, and then so they can make like a coordinated push, or B, they're gonna rush into us. and then try and win it before we can cap point.
Or what if they just go around the other side?
If they go around the other side, then everybody's kind of at a stalemate. If they do go around the other side and they don't juke us out, then we'll have Lucio to speed boost us over
That
right
way,
here, and then take the fight onto them.
I just don't see the point of them having to try to take the fight before. Like, if we're already there, I don't really see the point of them actually trying to take the fight if they don't know what they're doing.
Well, this isn't a situation where I'm saying like they don't know what they're doing. If they do know what
Okay.
they're doing, they're gonna push them. Most likely, they're gonna know what they're doing. The only reason I'm saying like if they don't know what they're doing is because like we did, because we didn't know what we were doing on Goats Comp because we didn't have any practice with it, right?
Yeah.
And because we were just doing it no matter what, which is a terrible idea. First of all, because it makes us predictable and easily counterable.
Right.
Anyway, so if we take the fight right here in this area, and we have to run into them. The problem with Gold Comp is if you run into a team, like you're gonna win. If they have an Orisa and a Hog, that's really the only way I could see us losing the fight if they've already capped the point. And
they're established.
exactly. That's the only way how I could see us losing the fight. But if they're running the mirror comp, it's just that's the thing. Like no matter how much you go over it, it's only the simple things where you can go over it and then like take that fight. Now, so does that answer everybody's questions on Goats Comp, or do you wanna talk
I
about
think
it more?
I think the only thing I would want to ask is like, so if let's say for example we lose a fight, right, and they take the point, which way would we want to like come back through?
Depending on where they're holding, if they're top right, we're gonna go around to point. If they're main, we're gonna go top right.
Okay, and then let's say for example they're on point, right, and then we take top right or top left, whatever the position we're in.
Mhm.
How do we approch it? Do we
We're
just
gonna whittle
take
down
them
their
head on?
shield by Zarya right clicking.
Uh-huh.
And then trying to get as many abilities out as possible. If even we get a Zarya bubble, man, that's a really bad voice crack. My apologies.
I didn't even notice it.
Oh, no worries. So if we get a Zarya bubble out,
Mhm.
if it's a personal, that's really good for us. If it's friendly, then that's still good because we can focus whoever we want, and we won't have to punish. Like we won't be punished for it by feeding the multi-charge.
And this is only for playing goats.
This is only for playing goats, but this can apply to like Pharah Junkrat as well. You guys want to go over like how I would?
Well,
go
yeah.
against it?
I
So if we're
absolutely
playing
wanna go
Pharah
with that.
Junkrat, if they're playing point, which most likely they are, if they're playing goats, if they know what we're playing, excuse me. let me
There's no
delete
reason
all
for them
this.
playing top right if they know what we're
Exactly,
playing.
there
Pharah
is no
Junk, they
reason
need to
for
be
them as
playing
well
point.
because if they play out in the open,
They're fucked. Like,
they're enabling the Pharah.
mhm.
And honestly, if I was playing Goats Comp and I knew they had Pharah Junkrat, I'd rather enable the Junkrat than enable the Pharah.
Yeah, it's a lot trickier
Because
to aim with
exactly,
Junk.
because Tyre can be easily counterable in this
Mhm.
meta.
Especially in a tight room like the point on village. So it's like you don't have any like there's only two ways of getting in to get something with the tire, and if you
Exactly.
watch both sides, it's basically fucked anyways.
Exactly.
So probably, so they're more than likely gonna be playing point. So that means like we have to just try to like whittle
So
down
what I
their
would
shield,
do
right?
in that situation, I'm gonna say, okay, so we're all gonna go right here.
Mhm.
Fair's not gonna go on a flank because it's a stupid
There's no
idea.
reason.
Because exactly, even though they have nobody that could touch the Pharah, you never know. Like even getting a Pharah down to like 150 HP is really really bad. If you're a Pharah and you don't have a Mercy Pocket, losing HP is like your worst nightmare.
Yep.
So if you guys hold top right and you just spam down in the corner, even if you're feeding Zarya ult charge, if the Junkrat spams and they're on point and they don't like move, Reinhardt's shield's gonna be down.
Yep.
Zarya's bubbles are gonna be down. And the only time the only person who could really win and like carry the fight for them would be the Zarya. So as long as you guys discord the Zarya with the Reinhardt shield down, it's an easy fight because her hitbox is pretty big and she moves really slow. So her movement is like really predictable. And it's
So I just have a question. Sorry, it's just like at that point, like yeah, we're trying to break shield and everything, right? So if we're playing against goats and we're playing like Ryan Zarya with Junk Pharah and we're playing a bunch of long range poke like with Junk and Pharah,
Mhm.
wouldn't it just be better to just play dive tanks?
No,
that, like-
because if you play dive tanks and you try and dive, you're screwed.
Why? Because of one Bridget?
Not just because of Bridget, it's because of Junkrat, it's because of Diva, it's because of Reinhardt. It's their entire comp fucks over dive. That's the problem.
Like, even
because you can either speed boost out of the dive, or you take the fight to the dive because you have Brigitte, and
Okay.
it's an easy focus fire to whoever's stunned.
can't
Like
you say
as
the
much
same
as I
thing?
hate, pardon me.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but can't
Yeah.
you say the same thing about like if you're playing Ryan Zarya and they just like shield bash the Ryan that tries to commit?
But we
after
have a
you-
Zarya who could like easily bubble with a shield bash because if the Brigitte's trying to push up for a shield bash, it's easy to predict. Like you just have to time it right, and the timing for that is like it's not that hard at all. Think of it as trying to hook a tracer. If you're a tracer, if you're an experienced tracer, the hog's gonna hook you every single time.
Mhm.
But if you know, okay, I know when the hog has his cooldown up, I know how he's gonna try and hook me. It's gonna be either after I use a blink or just before I use a blink. If I can bait that out, if I can hear that sound cue when a hog is trying to hook me, I can blink out of it. Either going from out of a range by blinking by holding S, so I go behind, like out of a range of a hog, or if I go to the hog and I'm too close for him to get that hook off, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm putting myself in like a dangerous position, but I still should have enough blink charge to get myself like out of it, and he'll be like wasting his ability as well. And even if I do that, I'll still have my E if he gets the best of me, which gives me a second life.
Right. Okay. I get you. It's just that I just had an idea of like I don't know. You're probably right. It's just a matter of like if I see a Reinhardt, he gets shield bashed, right, and we barrier him. Isn't it the same thing if like we force out one of their barriers as well, where they're like, oh right, now we can just fight them now, because like now we just have two long range poke DPS, and then like we don't have a Bridget, so we don't have something to protect both our tanks that are getting shield bashed and use the barrier.
Well, here's the thing: if you run Winston Diva and with like a Junkrat on your team, the Junkrat's gonna have zero, like, value whatsoever because you're relying on keeping that shield up to whittle down their shield, and you will win the shield battle every single time if you have a Junkrat Pharah, because the Junkrat is gonna be doing way too much damage for the Reinhardt to keep his shield up in a manner that will, like, he'll have to put it down, and which exposes like the enemy team as well, which Pharah can like really do work on when that happens as well.
Mhm.
I kind of get it, how like I get it, like you really want to just take the fight to them by playing like dive tanks, but you're playing into their game. That comp, they want you to run into them because they know they're gonna A, have the resources to keep like the people up, and B, because it's triple support, right? It's Mercy, it's Lucio, and it's Brigitte. Mercy can hold M1 on whoever's getting dived on, and then Brigitte can say, oh, Reinhardt's getting low, better press C on her, like him, and there you go, you have a 200 HP right there. And then Lucio can just use the speed song to get everybody into a safe position to regroup. Yeah, you give them point, but then you already know if they're running dive tanks, then we can just run, like we can run them. We literally mow them over like it's a lawnmower and it's grass. And it's a GG right there. So that's kind of where I kind of feel like if they're running goats, either we have to play Ryan Zarya no matter what. DPS can kind of be like an iffy situation depending on what their playstyle is, because you can have a Junkrat like on top right here, and then you can have Pharah Mercy flank over to this side right here, and if that Pharah can do work, if he can even get the one pick off, that's huge because they don't have Resrat next fight. And if they don't have Resrat, like even if they picked him off and the enemy Mercy still doesn't have Res, that's still huge for like us as a team as well, because we'll have a better chance of winning that team fight depending on who it is. Whoever it is, it's still a real, unless it's Lucio, because honestly Lucio the only thing Lucio is good for is just like running them over. So you guys could run them over, and because they won't have a Lucio for speed song to get that what's it called, that AoE healing, because Brigitte AoE healing along with Lucio AoE healing is basically the same as a Mercy Pocket, like from an M1. It's just way too much healing.
Right.
So, and I'm gonna have to leave in just 2 more minutes.
Okay, so
But I'm gonna make this really quick.
Yeah.
So everything what I said, I hope you guys can take into like heart. And along with, I'm sorry, what's our Mercy player? What's your name again?
Taylor. Well, it's Toxic Taylor. But you can call me
Toxic Taylor. All right. So if you want to, what's it called? So because I know you're gonna be asking this question, what happened? What am I gonna do? Who am I gonna be pocketing? The Pharah or Mercy? I mean, or like our tanks. As soon as the tank's shield dies, like if a Reinhardt shields die, or we know somebody's in trouble, like in the back line, you say fuck the Pharah, and you go back onto like the enemy team. I mean the friendly team, and that Pharah hopefully will still have his E up, so he can use the E on this area right here and boost himself all the way over to here. Here, let me just delete all this. So if Pharah is right here in this general area, if he presses E right here and goes here, you can just press shift and you can follow him as well, and you can like keep up the Ryan.
Okay.
And you guys will be able to do. Then you guys can do the same thing again with the Pharah going on the flank. Just have to make sure if your Ryan shield dies, that's it. It's a GG. It's a GG every single team played. Like that's the main problem with Goats Comp. If you can whittle them their shield from a faraway distance where they can't run you over, it's a GG. Which is why this high ground position is really good, because they have to come all the way over here and go all the way here. That's 15. No, I wouldn't say 15 actually. That's about 10 seconds where you guys can like either A, get a pick, or B, whittle down their abilities. Anyway, I hope you guys can take that into flop. I unfortunately have to go. If for some reason, you know, they abandon the team practice again, I will be back as well. Anyway, good luck guys with
We're gonna go over the rest of the maps and we'll let you, and if you want to come back, we'll
good enough.
Yeah.
Awesome, thanks. Anyway, see you.
Alright. Want to go back to the Discord?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, let's go.
What?
Go back to the Discord. Alright. Okay.
Is the server still up? Oh, it is.
So I guess like for this map in particular, we're gonna be playing Junk Pharah, Ryan Zarya, Mercy Zenyatta. If it's me and him, more than likely I'm gonna be playing Junkrat, and he's probably gonna be playing Pharah. Like he said, they're probably gonna be playing Goats. Most teams will.
Yeah.
So
earlier when he was talking about it, he was talking about like if they res or whatever. So is he talking about like if they're running Mercy, Bridget?
Right, which
Lucio?
I was gonna point out to him, be like, if they're playing Goats, there's no way they're playing Mercy, right?
Yeah.
So like, he's just saying hypothetical.
There's a lot of hypothetical in his shit. To me, when he was talking, he assumed Goats is gonna literally stand there and let us whittle them down.
Right. Like, one thing is like, I think if they're playing Goats, yeah, he's not wrong. I think if anything, if they see we're not, they're gonna be playing Point. But at the same time, like, they can't literally just sit on Point if we're playing Junk and Pharah, right? That's why Junk and Pharah is such a
That's what I'm
hard
saying.
counter.
His like reasoning between Mercy Res being up not being up every fight is wrong.
But I mean, again, it wouldn't matter because they're not gonna be running Mercy regardless.
Well, in his scenario, they were. So I'm just.
Well, no, I don't think he meant it that way. I think he meant just hypothetically if they're playing Mercy. There's no way they're playing Goats with
Yeah,
Mercy.
his
It's
whole
impossible.
strat is around us breaking their shield. Right? That takes time. Let's say we break their shield. Let's say it takes 10 seconds, right? Alright, so we break a shield. Then we have to do the actual fight itself. And then let's say we lose the fight. That's another 10 seconds of respawn. Mercy Res is back up. I don't know why we just don't run Mei. For me personally, if they're gonna
Why
play
do we
Gwen
run
like
Mei?
this. Because Mei shits on Goats.
Yeah.
Every
Does it
time we've
actually
ran Goats, we've actually every time we've got shit on by Mei. Because the
Okay.
whole point of Goats is to stay together. If they're playing Point this whole time, one good Mei wall and we dive them, not dive tanks, just saying dive in general, like, and break their team off, Goats becomes a lot weaker.
I just think that if we're gonna run a Mei, like it's gonna be much harder to do much more damage. Like, granted, like if we free somebody, yeah, we can just swing onto him and beat him down. But at the same time, how do we engage with that? Like, if we don't have a speed boost, right, and we're taking top left or top right, whatever in this map in particular, me trying to wall them off at first isn't gonna happen, right? So they're gonna come up top or Point, right, and then no matter what, they're gonna end up on the Point. So there's in no way am I ever
We have
really
to give
gonna
up
be able to
Point.
wall
If
them.
we're not playing Goats, like,
We have to give up the Point. Period.
we have to give them up no matter what if we're not playing it. So when they're in here, if they push a little too far, then we can wall them off. And
But that's
pounce.
hypothetical too. You
I
see,
know.
that's-
I'm just saying that, like,
it's much harder, in my opinion, to do that than it is to run Pharah and Junkrat. Because at that point, like,
how
we
would that
play...
be harder?
Okay, so this is how we would do it, right? So we would come up here, right? They would probably take Point. You see where I am over here?
Yeah.
If I'm playing Junkrat, I could literally stand right here and spam point. And the Pharah can be over top, spamming into point as well, right? Or getting into positions to break their shield. Now,
But if you're spamming all the way over here and they're on point, they don't have to put a shield up. They can just hide.
or I could literally just move up here if they do that.
Same thing still applies. They can hide where I'm at.
Right, but a wall literally is like much harder to. It's much harder to use a wall in order to like get a pick or something than it is to play Pharah and Junkrat. Because now what they're doing is they're trapped into a corner of the room where our tanks can actually just move.
Yeah, and on top of that, when you're saying that they can move into a corner, Audie, you're assuming that our Junkrat just has to stay right here. Because if they're in this corner, the Junkrat can literally step right here and like shoot them.
Oh,
Yeah, but the Junkrat, the team could also rotate. No matter what scenario it is, we have to push into the team eventually.
Well, yeah.
There's no way about it. Like, we have to engage to take the point from them. So either we want to rely on Junkrat Pharah spam to pretty much whittle them down and their shield, and then we have to push on them then, or we play Mei and split them off and pounce.
Taylor, you there?
But the scenario where you just wait the whole time for us to break a shield is not realistic, in my opinion.
Before we continue that, can we get like everybody in here?
I'm in here.
Oh, you're in here? Okay, perfect. Okay, so
It's
now.
enemy.
It's
Can we-
fine, it's fine.
So anyway, let me get back to Junkrat real quick. So, assuming that like what we're talking about is like if you think they're gonna be playing around a corner, let's just sit here. I'm gonna sit right here and find an angle. I'm just gonna find an angle. If they're gonna be playing corners, I'm gonna find an angle. So somebody stand on the point. In a corner where
There's no angle you can take here as Junkrat to where you can bounce off one wall or get them on this wall.
So you're saying on that wall, right?
It doesn't matter which wall, it's the same thing, right?
So okay, let's try it. I would have to get a little closer in order to do that, right? I'd have to be like here in order to do this.
I think we should still play Junkrat or Pharah 100% no matter what.
Personally,
We could think about playing Mei.
Yeah,
but the thing is I just don't see the point of playing Mei if we can't do damage with it. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. I just feel like if we play Mei, yeah, we could freeze them and everything. It's just a lot
Not so
harder.
much the freeze, it's about the control that Mei provides.
But like, if you place a wall down, right, you have to get somebody behind it, right? You have to. If not, it's a pointless wall.
Yeah, you have to split the team, yeah.
Right, but it's much harder to do that than it is to spam at an angle. Like, I could just stand here. I could literally, like, let's see how far I could go. I could come from here. Like, and that'll bounce off to that wall. Like, it's like, at this point, like, I don't think Mei's a bad pick. It's just the idea of trying to pull it off is, like, hard. If we practice it, yeah, we could try it. I don't want to completely throw it out the window. I think it's a good idea. Because I've seen teams work with it before. Especially
Just saying, every time we've played Goats, Mei has shit on us. Every time.
Okay, so then how would the playstyle go? What would the
That's also how it goes. They just split Goats up. Just split the team, like you wall, right? Let's say Kilby's on someone else on the other team, and I'm on the other team. If you split their team in half, their comp is hurt pretty badly.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree because like the supports aren't going to be playing right on top of everybody. They're going to be playing a little bit back. But if you split off the Ryan, the Zarya, the D.Va, or whatever, and you freeze them, then yeah, that's good. We could try it. I personally think we could try it. We
You
could
don't
run
even need to
Pharah.
freeze them. Like the team just needs to pounce them, like everyone.
Mhm.
Between Discord, Junkrat, whatever, Fire, whatever we want to run with Mei, probably Junkrat, and
I don't
Ryan
think-
swinging
I don't
his
think
hammer
Junkrat.
at them, like,
It'd
I
probably be
understand how
Pharah.
we wouldn't get a kill there.
Okay, we could try it. I think that's something we could try. We could try
I think
Pharah.
both strats work. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, with the Junkrat Far scenario, one, Far's not breaking shields.
Why
Far's
not?
back here. He had Far back here, where I'm at, on the screen.
No. He brought him over here. He said no flanks for Pharah. He said that like.
Why
we
was
come
he putting flanks in when Kilby was saying he could just E to get the Far?
Okay,
This
so
is where he's at.
Okay,
This is where Farah is at.
Because he wasn't talking about Pharah for here though.
He
was
literally
talking
said
about Ghost.
Farah. He
Did he?
literally he 100% said Farah. He
Well-
said Kilby to shift when the Farah needed heals. Oh,
I
he
personally-
had Farah on flanks right here.
Like here?
Where I'm at right here.
I don't really see the like. I see the point of like if we're all taking top, right? As opposed to like, I mean, if we're taking top and then we have a Pharah Mercy together.
Are you talking about when he was over here and he told Pharah to save his E, that way he could wrap here, and told me to shift over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he was. You would be on this side as Pharah, one of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like if Ryan's right here, and his shield's going down, he told you to E over, me shift, and me heal Orion. Or for you to like E over here or something
So
like
like,
that. And I stay
so
over here.
our
I
team
don't
would be
know.
playing over there, right?
Yeah,
And then our
on this
pocket,
side
our
of it.
combo would be right here, right? It would be
Yeah.
like in this area, and then we'd spam here.
He's on the map. It looks like over here, so I don't fucking know. But I'm
It's
just
probably
assuming.
here.
I'm just assuming Orion would be right here, right?
But why would our Ryan be right there if
Well,
we're playing
approaching
Pharah?
the point. I don't know. Our shield's going down.
No,
whatever.
I'm just wondering why he would say that. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying like.
Well, he didn't necessarily say right here. I'm saying Orion would probably be right here, approaching point, and
I
he's
think
like,
what he means is that we would go top, right? Everybody goes top, and the pocket and the combo comes over here, right? And then
Yeah.
like
"But if
whenever
Orion's shield's going down, I need to pocket Orion.
right, like so our Pharah would E off that wall back this way, and it would give you room to shift out this way to the Reinhardt over there.
But if we do it that way, Waffle literally has to baby the crap out of Audie. Because if Audie
See,
dies,
I don't need baby there because they're playing Ghost. I will never be the
Yeah.
first
we're
one to die.
assuming they're
Ghost.
playing goats. is
No,
what
but I'm just saying we're assuming this whole time they're playing Goats, right? This is all hypothetical. But if they're playing Goats, I will never be the first one to die unless I personally messed up really bad.
Audie essentially has free reign while he's playing against Goats. It's literally like he can be anywhere as long as he's not in front of them.
My favorite comp, dude. It's like free ult chart.
Right. So you do that, right? And well, personally, I can understand why he's saying play the combo here,
Because you have a pincer attack on the Junkrat spam over here.
yeah.
Power can shoot with your back on from over here.
So we could just do that, right? I think that's not a horrible idea.
Just that our tanks have to be very, very careful. Can't be taking like insane amounts of damage.
I don't see anything.
You don't see Hanzo Genji?
That's a painting. That's the pictures right here.
Oh,
Now
I
it's-
was over here on my screen.
Why is it not doing anything? There we go.
By the way, Waffle, did I figure out how to turn the volume off?
Yeah.
I just wait.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, cool. I was more figuring out how that worked than I was like trying to like I don't know, trying to keep my
So, do we have this map on lockdown?
No, we don't have it on lockdown because we just went over a whole hour of just Goats.
Right. So, like, what if? Okay. So, what are other alternatives? They're like my personal opinion. The other alternative, Pharah is the only other thing, right? Right. Pharah is like the only other thing, right? And you cannot play Widow on this map. It's actually impossible because the sightlines are so bad. So
Widow
like,
can be played on every map, dude. If you're fucking insane.
I disagree. This map is the sightlines are so horrible, especially
honestly,
for running Reinhardt.
Widow on most of Nepal, except for maybe
This map, I think this map is horrible for Widow. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong sightlines, but I've played Widow
I
a
don't like
lot.
this one. The only place to really stand is like near the water towers or on the sides, but even then you can get dope so easy.
Yeah, like it's just not that good. Sanctum is great for Widow, I think, but
Sanctum
yeah, I was
on
gonna
the
say
inside?
Shrine.
yeah. And
One of the
Shrine
things
isn't
are
that
good.
bad either. Like Shrine
Anyway,
isn't that bad.
What are if they run Pharah? What tanks do you think they'll run?
Well, if they're running Pharah, like personally, I don't know how teams necessarily think on maps like this because with the theory of like they could just run Rein Zarya on like basically anything or like Winston Diva basically everything. I think that
I don't really think a lot of teams are gonna run Winston on this map.
but that's the thing, right? So I
But
think
it can be viable though.
yeah, it can be viable. Like, and I think there's more of a reason to play those characters more so than a Reinhardt and a Zarya. Maybe this map is different because like you push through like little chokes all the time, but I personally think that Winston Diva or just Diva in general, I think Diva is more of an auto pick than like most characters.
Yeah,
'Cause
we
I had
also
thought
have to
about this.
think. We have to we have to think 2.5 weeks ahead to when Hammond's gonna be here.
Yeah.
But is it going to be legal for that tournament? No. Okay.
It's not in Compton though.
So then we don't ever have to worry
Okay.
about that. Then. We don't have to worry about that.
Wait, I
we will
see
have
it.
to worry about Symmetra for that tournament.
That's just fine. I
True.
don't give a shit what's special.
But I don't think that's that big of a deal, to be honest. Because if they pick Symmetra, it's kind of like a negative character in terms of like they can do little cute things, but she's not that like dangerous because
Not
unless
game
they
breaking
hard
to me. Personally.
She's gimmicky.
Yeah, like if
I
she has to
mean,
get hard pocketed for her to do something, you know what I mean?
I don't know, dude. Like, if you're running
Well-
goats, dude, she could fuck up the enemy team.
Right, but at that
You
point
can-
you have nothing to kill her with, because the best way to deal damage is to walk up to their team, right? And if she walks up to the team, she's gonna do damage. So if you play a comp that has any sort of long range poke, like
She's
Symmetra
useless.
does nothing essentially.
Well, but if also if we've run or if we're playing against a team who is like focused on like working around Symmetra, like there are strats that can be used to like get behind like her. She's gonna be a major flanking.
And that's why we have to react really quickly. We have to immediately see the Symmetra, and we have to think, okay, if they're playing around it really good, like if they're playing around like flanks and shit, we have to adapt instantly. We have to play together.
You have to make sure that you keep in mind which characters can be used to flank. So like if they have a D.Va bomb, like okay, can they send that through the a teleporter behind us, or do they have a McCree that they can set behind us?
Even that, like
But
it's
even
just a
then,
matter
like
of,
you can't position the
linking the whole
portal
team.
to that really. Like you just have to pay attention to the portal itself when it happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
Somebody needs to be-
game awareness. Like that's just someone on the team calling where the portal is, and us knowing that that portal can be an issue. You can also
Right,
kill
right.
the portal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like the best course of action is like when once we see the teleporting place somewhere, we all have to try to go for it, or we just ignore it.
Or we
entirely.
avoid it.
Yeah, we avoid it or we kill it instantly.
Yeah,
right?
and
depending on the
usually
scenario.
at least one of the two teleporters will be visible.
Yeah, typically. If they're not, right, like let's just lay this down, I think. If we do not see one, we do not commit. We do not commit to it. We just avoid it. Because if we don't see it, there's no reason to try to like get an LOS of it, and then if they come through the teleporter, that person's dead. Like if let's say one teleporter's over here, right? In this doorway over here. And then they place one all the way over there if they can, into that
So
other
far, it
doorway.
doesn't go
I'm
that
not
far.
even sure
Just
if that's far
hypothetical.
enough here.
But
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
hypothetical. Like in terms of like they put it from one room to the other and you can't see it immediately, there's no sense of trying to go for it unless you're literally in that room. So just remember that. Like there's no sense of going for it unless you can see it. So or we're all really close. So
Yeah,
See how
always
far it
gonna
goes right
check
now.
to see how
so
far.
like let's try to keep this in mind. Let's keep this like conversation going. If they're running Pharah, right, we cannot play Widow in my opinion. Because it is so easy for Pharah to play up there, behind the building, and
And
get
she
LOS
can
where
hide.
I
Yeah, she
can't.
can hide too well.
So Widow just can't do it, right? Either like I just
But I don't
think
think
it's
we should run Zarya on this map unless they're running. Well, running a bridge of comp pretty much.
well if they're playing goats, yeah. If they're playing goats, we have to.
But
kind of
I
have to.
think our main tank should always be Rhine though.
No.
I
I
disagree.
don't feel at all that we should run. I think we should just dive tanks unless they're running Bridget.
Like I think D.Va is a perma pick most of the time. I think D.Va's like 90
D.Va is
to
so much
95%
better
of the
for
time.
us than playing Zarya.
Unless we're running 3 tanks.
Yeah,
You know, or 3
we would
support,
have both
essentially.
tanks at that point, so it doesn't matter.
So if they're running Pharah, we either need to commit to a McCree, or we just don't worry about the Pharah at all.
If we don't want to worry about the far, then we need to play high ground as much as possible.
Well, wait a minute. If they're playing, that means we can't play high ground.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they play far, right, they're
Mhm.
going to come from where I'm shooting, right? There, even far right. The whole fucking map is their playground, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Except for the point, essentially.
Yeah.
So we
So
kind
if we're
of need
playing
to take
McCree,
advantage.
right,
Mhm,
the
mhm.
counter Farah, we need to keep top ground as much as possible. Because once the McCree
Yeah, right.
gets in there, the point, it becomes a lot harder to kill that bitch.
Like McCree can't play inside of the point to kill
That's
Pharah.
what I'm
Like,
saying,
it's
right?
impossible.
Like, if they play far and we don't have ours, then top ground control is very important for us.
So it would have to be like we need to take top ground here and then hard pocket McCree. Like we need to make sure the McCree just doesn't die, because if the McCree stays alive, like if they're playing like Ryan Zarya, presumably, they're not going to be killing McCree on a high ground without a Pharah, right? So at that point, we need to just hard pocket McCree, and McCree has to do a lot of work, right? But then that's why I think we have to run D.Va. We can't run Zarya. because
That's what I'm
Diva
saying.
also
I
helps.
feel like dive tanks by default is
We
good
could
on this
run
map.
Rhyme though. We could run Rhyme. I think Rhyme
It's
isn't
not bad. Like
I
Ryan
think
Diva.
it's not a bad idea. But if they're running Bridget, we have to run Rhyme. We can't play.
Yeah,
Winston.
we have to swap.
Yeah, I think the
Right.
only main tank you should not run on this map is probably Orisa.
Well, yeah, unless it's Sanctum, then like Sanctum's like.
Well,
you know,
sorry, I
passable.
meant this specific map.
Yeah. So like, what do you think would be better to commit to on the first fight? Would it be a Ryan or a Winston?
Probably Ryan.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say Ryan because
Probably
if they're running goats too, you know.
choice.
I think
Ryan,
Ryan.
and if
Yeah.
we don't have the point, and if we're basically like beating our heads against a brick wall, like Winston, like
So, like,
switching to Winston.
The way we're looking at it right now is this, right? They're playing goats, right? We're gonna start every map probably with Pharah Junkrat, right? And then Ryan Diva or Ryan Zarya, right?
I think that on
No, play
Sanctum.
Ryan Diva, not Ryan Zarya.
I think on Sanctum, Renzaria would be better, honestly.
Okay, but we're talking about this one right now, right? So we're gonna do.
What's Sanctum?
Sanctum's the
Sanctum
one
is-
with like the stairs that go up into the pillar in the middle.
Inside
alright,
room.
yeah.
Wait, I thought that was Shrine.
No,
Maybe
Shrine is
it
the
is, I
one
don't
with
fucking
the
know.
bell. Like it's not the bell, it's like a pillar, and then there's the elephants outside.
Sanctum is the one with the knockoff, right? The big
Yeah,
ass fucking-
Sanctum's the one with the knockoff.
It's
Oh
the
wait,
dark
oh
room.
no. I was talking. Okay, yeah, then I'm talking about the one with like the elephant things.
Shrine.
Yeah, I think Zarya's better than Diva.
So,
for that.
Yeah, I
This-
think
but the-
Zarya's good on Shrine. I'm not sure. I don't think she's
Sanctum
really good
Zarya is garbage. Sanctum Zarya is garbage. So, this map, we need to focus on this one, right? We need to
Yeah,
worry
yeah.
about playing like Ryan. We need to decide either we run Dive or we run Ryan Diva.
I think Ryan Diva is a far safer pick than Monkey.
Monkey Diva.
Right, and if it's not working out, I think switching to a dive to Winston with Pharah, Junkrat, or something to counter whatever.
I think
does
the only time we
that
swap off of Ryan is if they're running a Winston.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the only scenario I think we should swap off of Ryan. Otherwise, we just keep him the whole time.
But we need to remember this. Do we start Pharah Junkrat? I'd say yes. Because if they're playing their own Pharah, right? Regardless of what their comp is, I think Pharah Junk is pretty much okay.
I think it's
Right?
okay because it will provide protection for me and the Junkrat.
At
Yeah,
least something.
And
right?
having a
then-
Pharah from the beginning, like if you allow them to start with their Pharah and build her ult charge when we don't have a Pharah, then we're gonna be off on the ult advantage.
Right.
Pharah's gonna have the one big ult to use like before our Pharah can even build up her ult.
Right, so we'll just commit to that. Like Ryan Diva, Pharah Junkrat, Mercy Zenyatta, right? We take top
Yeah.
left, right? And then if they're playing goats, we focus on like, we get our Pharah to the right side. We get the Pharah to the right side and then we start spamming the angles. We wait for a personal or friendly bubble, and then we can kind of commit with our tanks, right?
What friendly bubble? We're playing Diva.
No, if they're no, them, they're bumble.
Yeah, if we run into goats, we should swap the Diva for the Zarya.
we swap the Diva for Azar, yeah, we could do
Yeah.
that.
If we lose the fight, we should instantly swap.
Yeah, and if they're
So-
running Winston, we swap
wait,
the Reinhardt for a Winston.
But if we're
Yeah.
running, if we start off with Ryan Zarya or Ryan Diva, then why, I don't know, why'd you bring up switching from Zarya to Diva?
Because
We're not
Diva
ever-
will get shit on in goats.
Yeah, like
Zarya will literally tear you a fucking new one if we give them
Oh.
energy.
Okay, so
There's
you
no
mean
point playing
you mean
Diva.
and if we're
okay,
playing
okay.
Zarya,
I
we
know,
lose.
but
we
you're
lose to
so
Sam.
you're saying we swap the Diva for a Zarya if they're running goats?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you said swap Zarya for Diva. Sorry.
Oh, whatever. Well, no, it still makes sense.
That,
It's
I was
it-
wrong.
whatever, it's
Yeah,
fine.
Wording.
Yeah, English, Canadian, that kind of stuff. So,
Shut up! I'm tired of that shit, dude. I'm leaving.
listen, I'm brown, bro. What the fuck? Like, what do you want me to do? Right? I gotta be a little racist.
Did you graduate junior high, bro? Or you're too busy gangbanging?
Sorry, I was too busy taking all of our other Americans' jobs.
Nice.
So, all right, I think that's this map, ideally, gone. Right?
I don't
Yeah.
think we need to go over Sanctum, honestly.
We don't.
Agarissa, Widow, Zen, Mercy,
Wait a minute.
Junkrat.
Wait a minute. So, okay, so let's move on to Sanctum. Let's move on to
Yeah, no,
Sanctum.
okay, yeah. So I agree with what Audie said, unless they're running dive.
If they ran dive, they would get
Yeah, we
absolutely
switched to
fucking
dive.
shit on.
Yeah. If they're running dive, they're gonna get shit on by the for like just the character of pick up Orisa and Junkrat. Like
At that
those
point,
two
if they're
just
running
shit on.
dive, Like,
We're on
maybe we
Shrine,
could
not-
fuck
Yeah,
Widow,
yeah, I know you
maybe,
can't pick this.
but you could just hide in the cubby. Like for me, for example, I would hide in the cubby with Junkrat, and I would dare them to come in.
Like it's honestly like a death trap if they're playing dive. Like first of all, I already think Sanctum is a bad dive map. It's already a bad one because a lot of the times you're limited to where you can jump, right? Because of the hole in the middle. Like you can't actually be. You're so limited to where if you're trying to dive stairs, you can't move anywhere.
Yeah.
And if you try to take the mega, like take positioning on the mega, you just get forced. Like you just can't like.
So
do
let's
anything
just
with
say we're gonna run Widow here, like Widow Junkrat,
Yeah.
and Hog Orisa, right? So Widow has her sidelines. I'll fuck over this shitty map. But if they're running dive, I can literally hide in here where I'm at right now, with a Junkrat, and Mercy can be in here too. And it's really, really hard for them to come in here without
So,
being
like,
wrecked.
What we could do is like what? Okay, so like if they're playing dive, right, and we're playing in this room, what area do you think they would jump through, or at least try to commit through? They would probably commit through this door, right, not this one.
I mean, whatever side that
They would
we come
either
from, right? Either door's the same way, right?
yeah,
So,
they
like,
would
if-
either drop down the back or they would come. Oh wait, you're talking about if they're defending?
Like okay, let's say we're on the point, right? We have control of
Right.
the point. So
Okay.
if let's say this is our side of the point, right? Like this is where we spawn and everything, right? And we take this room.
Yep.
And I'm probably gonna be spamming over here, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
So-
they will probably try to take this corner right here.
Okay,
If
so
they're
then
running a
should I
dive
drop my trap here, like right in front here, or in the drop down or the other door?
Honestly, so
Probably the other door.
if they drop down back here, they can just get absolutely screwed by a Junkrat right there.
Well, it's just like this. Whatever
can-
door they play, or whatever stairs they want to come in on, we should take the closest door.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like for trap placement, I think if anything,
Right
I
there's
wouldn't
fine.
even-
Like with the closest door, like the shield should go here, right here, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't even matter where the shield is. It can be here too. Like,
You
it,
could just-
it just
yeah.
no matter what they do, if they come into this room, they're dead.
right? So like also if they take drop down, the first reaction we should have is run over our trap, like
Yeah.
like run over
Yeah,
our
we
trap.
just swap positions. Now, if we swap positions, this
Mhm.
is where we need to watch out for
Yeah,
the
Pharah.
DPS diving.
or a widow or a widow or a widow.
Or
Yeah.
a widow. Yeah.
Because widow will be positioned like there probably, like in or in over there at least.
Yeah, we don't have to like they drop here, right? If we
Mhm.
react fast enough, like we know what's coming, we don't have to like I don't have to go all the way out to the point, right? I can
No.
stand right here, and if they're over there, you can't hit me.
Yeah, and I'll be
Yeah.
spamming like here. And
Yeah,
then,
and
but the
I'll
thing
be
is,
like moving forward, and you'll be pushing me back with your
And it's the
spam.
same thing. Like they're still going to get spammed so hard here because it's such a tight place that I don't see them having the health to kill me. Even if they killed me, like they would sacrifice both tanks for that, and to me that's worth it.
I have an issue though. So if we're playing this comp and we lose the first fight with Orisa Hog, you know, like it's almost impossible to really like, as long as the team isn't retarded, like it's almost impossible to take a fight back.
That's not the case though, because remember we're still running Hog. We're not even getting to the point where Waffle can hook the little fuckers off the map.
I just think that like, okay, so what if they? Okay, we're probably gonna
I
play up
think
here.
uh,
right?
maybe
But
not
first-
stay Orisa, but like I think the Hog should.
Oh no,
stay.
we play Orisa 100% of the no.
You think?
But like, even if we're trying to retake, Orisa's horrible.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We slow push. You can slow push with Orisa. Like you don't need to rush to them. If we slow push them, they can't touch us. Like they will
So, like,
lose
okay.
that every time.
So let's
At
say
that
they win
point,
the first fight.
it's at that point, it's Orisa's and Hog's job to shut down the dive itself, right? So you should be saving, if you can, your hooks for their movement abilities, right? Your pullbacks for movement abilities, and once
Yeah.
those are gone, and they don't dive me or kill me in the back, they're stuck fighting the people in the front, right?
They're not gonna be playing dive. Let's just get that out of the way.
I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
saying
yeah.
if they were.
Right. And if they're playing
they-
Orisa Hog and they
Yeah,
take
they're
control of the
playing
point,
Orisa
are they gonna play point or are they gonna play pillars? Is the question.
So
Personally, the best pick is down here, in my opinion. Because like
yeah,
if they're running
they
jump.
could also split if they have the point. They could split between like having 2 or 3 on this sledge. Or
Well, they
this
want to
area,
control the sledge.
and
The
then
sledge is super important. Like,
If
this
they're
should,
playing Widow.
this should be controlled here. Because
Right,
Widow
yeah.
usually plays where Sans at right now, like,
Yeah.
in this area, so he has the mini to get health, and then he has sightlines at the point. He might go over where my rocket is, over there, on that side to take little flanks for us to get hits.
Yeah,
In general, it's safer for him to be over here.
Yeah, the Widow's
So,
better
like-
just off here.
and so the Roadhog definitely stays up on the.
The Roadhog will most likely go from point to this area right here.
Yeah,
Hog
yeah,
can do whatever he
exactly.
wants, really. The Hog
Yeah.
can do whatever he wants.
The Orisa who has the point
We'll literally probably stay there.
Yeah, stay like
Like that, like that's perfect. And
Yeah.
then they may want to like take the point from here. Like if they walk in, they'll probably come here. Like I could probably keep a trap like here, like just out of LOS for them.
right.
And like
and so
just stay right here.
so okay, so this is so if they are on the point, they'll be right here. How do we approach this?
So
The Hog is up there where I'm shooting, or there. One of those two.
Well, first things first, we need to push him off of here.
Bulbasaur, can you put a shield over here?
Over
like,
where?
you see right over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like facing this direction.
Like, right there.
Yeah, like or if we can move it more this way to the right towards the wall. If we can get it on the wall, like this is a spot where
Like-
the Hog on the pillar doesn't do anything to us, and we can
Like
still spam at the point. Yeah, like that. So like we can still spam like this.
The thing is, though, to
Right.
me, we need to take them off of this area right here. We have to.
But the Hog
Yeah.
being there does nothing if we're sitting here.
Exactly, because
No,
like
no,
he'll
no.
be
Like,
spamming.
listen, though. The shield, you're hiding behind the shield. How often is your Orisa shield up? 100% of the time.
Well, so okay, let me give you this. If the Roadhog is spamming at the shield, because the shield is going to be going down, like, and it's most likely going to be Roadhog and or Junkrat shooting at it to take it down.
And Orisa, yeah.
If the Roadhog is and the Orisa. If the Orisa is probably over there in the corner, if the Roadhog is up here, there are a lot of opportunities for me to pull them out.
Yeah, but at that point we're kind of relying on the pull to kill the Hog.
Yeah,
That's true.
It's far easier for them to break the shield and get a hook on us from over here than for us to get this Hog off.
Okay.
So then,
only
what-
does
then,
it
so then
have
how do we approach it?
You
From
have
here?
to take them off of here. They have
so like
to
we
go.
move out here.
So then
these
we
guys
have
right
to
here
approach from the right side
have
then?
to be pushed off.
We have to approach from
The,
right
the
here?
problem with that though is that if they play Hog up here, like it doesn't matter if we're sitting right here. The Hog can stay there if he wants. It doesn't matter. There's nothing we can do.
The Hog
Just
is fine.
kill.
If the Hog plays back here, like this area right here, it's not nearly as bad. But we cannot push this point
Here, go back over
with
here.
the Hog sitting right here. It's literally free pickings for everyone. Not only does this force me, if the Hog's sitting right there, right? Waffle, stop shooting for a sec. And we push the
Here,
point,
don't
let's say
put
get
up
a shield
another
here,
shield.
and Hog's still there, that's easy hooks. Not only is it easy hooks for our front line, where am I going to be a Zen?
Yeah, that is a problem. Like
Where
it's-
I can't play. If I play here, right? I can't help shield break at all. I'm shooting Hog here, so my only option before we come this left side from our spawn, right here, like they shoot us here,
Yeah.
Hog shoots us from here. It's not good. I have to stay back here and pretty much just shoot Hog. I can't help with shield break. But if you come this side, I can help with shield break. We can push Hog off
Sam,
too
stop.
here.
Right.
Remember,
okay,
Hog
so-
doesn't have a shield here, right? So if we
Yeah.
push it back over here, our Widow can push up to play here, right? To get free sightlines of the point right here. Widow will play the opposite corner.
Okay, so we've decided this is the bad location. We should never use this one.
Yeah, that's bad.
yeah, probably
okay.
not. Yeah.
Okay, so if the Hog is up there, we approach from this way. If they're playing back in that corner, and the Hog isn't up here, we flank around the left side through the building there. Does that sound like a plan?
How do we do that? If they're playing that far back over there, on this, like, top of the stairs, we could just push the point at that point.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we
It's
That's
never
true.
gonna
That's
succeed,
true.
Right?
Okay, so then we just slow push. So like we get out the stairs here, and I put the shield down. We try to break shield, try to do whatever damage, and we slow push. Which direction? This direction or this direction?
We don't really want to put our shields up here on the right side. Like Waffle, between
Okay.
Waffle and Discord, that Hog, it should run away. Right?
Okay, so yeah, so then I keep shield here then. You guys either push anybody who's there, or if they run back to point, we slow push in this direction, and
The
we
whole
just
goal of
keep
this
putting
is
on
to get
shield.
this Hog out of here, right? Once this Hog is
Yeah.
gone, we can push the point at that point.
Yeah, they'll have less damage on the.
And then
shields.
we, at that point, Waffle can come up here and do the same thing that
Right.
again, that we were trying to avoid. He can spam shields from here. He just has to watch out for getting Hog hooked, is what it is. But, and at that point, Waffle can even be an asshole and go for the Widow too. If you wanted to. Like, this area is just so important.
Okay.
Right. So the Orisa should definitely stay the most like stagnant with positioning in terms of like making sure people can use the shield to get behind and having all of the widest range of visibility for both the point and the flanking positions. And
Yeah,
once we get enough picks, we can push the point and then set up.
We don't
exactly
even need so
where
much
we
picks
want
as
to.
we need positioning.
Yeah, like,
Right.
but the problem is that the whole fight is going to be turned off based off of like picks itself too. Because if we have a shield,
That's what Hog is, right?
and that's what Widow is too. It's just like it's going to be hard if they have a shield like that.
Yeah. Okay. So.
They have a shield like that, and we're coming from this side. You mean?
Yeah, it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's just
See, I don't see the difference between anywhere the shield is on the point. It doesn't matter to me. The same thing still applies. You push them off of this side right here, side ground, and then you can just push up to the stairs and put a shield down. Like, then every cooldown of shield, you try and push up as much as you can. We should be damage boosting Junkrat at this point to break shields as much as possible, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and so we've sort of discussed attacking a point that they already hold. What about first fight?
Pillars.
It's kind of the same thing. Like,
Same thing.
it's the same
Right side
whoever
pillars.
holds this area up here has a really big advantage.
Right. And
Again, it's
then it
so
comes
based
down
on
to picks, right?
yeah. It literally
Yeah,
just comes down.
It comes down to picks and shield damage, really, is what it is.
Because if
yeah.
we break their shield first, then like we have a
Junkrat
massive
can go
advantage.
crazy.
Yeah, like we have like so much room.
And our Widow back here will have free sightlines, right?
Yeah, like if we're playing there and then like their shield breaks, they have to like they're
And
forced to
then,
move
like,
back
let's
to
say
them.
their Orisa gets discorded, which should happen, honestly.
Mhm.
And Orisa gets discorded, a headshot is pretty much all his HP, almost.
Yeah, like if they get shield broken over there by the pillars and they're forced to retreat over there, so that means Widow has perfect sight lines with like everything, and then they have to replace the shield in an awkward position. Then we take top ground from them, or we can take the point from them.
A lot of the times when we like lose a scrim or something, it's because we're put in bad positions.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you guys just have to like realize is that position is like pretty much key to everything. Almost.
Yeah, it's the game. It's literally the game.
And then we discussed defensive positioning, just Junkrat and Zen in here.
It's all right.
We shield this corner, and our Hog plays up there with DPS.
What two DPS
I would
are
assume.
Junkrat?
Oh, wait a minute. Stop for 1 second. Stop for 1 second. All right. So if we're playing pillars, like just so Taylor knows because she was gone, if we're playing pillars and I'm playing Junkrat and we're taking the fight here against an Orisa shield, you have to damage boost.
Yeah.
Okay. So just like remember that so that we can win the shield more quick. That's all really the input.
What other DPS do we want to run?
It'd be
Junkrat,
Widow,
Widow.
Widow,
Widow?
Yep. It's almost gonna be the same thing on most maps, dude. Like.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. I just
and
wanted to
now-
make sure because I never heard anybody say anything about Widow.
And
Maiden
that
and
lets
stuff,
us deal
but-
with if they decide to switch to Pharah. Our we have the shield and we have the Widow to deal with the Pharah.
What if they decide to run goats here?
If they decide to run goats, I think we're at a big advantage. Like, are we talking first fight?
Just talking in general. How do we want to attack it?
So, I think like, okay, but that it matters, right? So like, if it's first fight, we could play up here, but the problem, well, first off, our first like reaction is gonna be up here. We're never gonna know if they're playing goats until we see them through those windows, right? And if we know that they're playing goats, playing top ground isn't the worst, but I don't think it's the best placement either. I think over here, maybe the best.
Yeah, because they're going to if they're running goats, they're gonna go straight to the point. They're gonna have Reinhardt in the front, and they're gonna have.
Remember what I'm saying? If we play over here, right?
Mhm.
I become very useless over here.
But if they're
Yeah.
playing goats, it doesn't matter. Oh, I guess you're right. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I keep forgetting
big
about
chunk of
Zenyatta.
damage, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if
yeah.
they're playing goats, right? I think here is still really good. I just think we
Yeah.
need to swap some DPS. That's it. I think we can keep our
Yeah,
tanks.
we get the Widow off and we play Pharah. Like, we probably just do that. We spam the corridor. Because they're more than likely going to move onto point and move in there.
Go with a Mercy Pocket. Sorry, Farah with Mercy Pocket has a lot of room to work here, right?
Yeah, like, I can literally spam as Junkrat into that door, and then the Pharah can spam the other door.
So let's say we back them up in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at that point, it's Junkrat heavy.
Yeah, and we can't move from this position, though. We can't, like, just move to point.
So
Because
it's
at that
kind of the
point, we
same
have
thing.
Bridget
as
and
the first
shit.
point. that Phantom was talking about. Like, once the shield breaks, we have to pressure into them.
Mm-hmm. Probably, yeah. Alright, so I guess if they're running goats, they're probably gonna be playing point. I don't see them playing up here. Like, if they do play up here, they're gonna rush straight onto us. They're gonna try to beat our ass down. So then what I'll do is I'll drop a trap like here.
Yeah,
And then
and
I go
if
play
they
off the
are,
trap.
and then if they're running goats, like if they switch to goats and we have the point, I think, like, they have a better chance of trying to flank behind us on this side if we're like set up here, like we were discussing.
Then we
setting
move
up
over
here.
there.
So then,
We
yeah,
would
we
just
just move
rotate
over
behind.
to this other corner. Yeah,
Yeah,
Then-
we
have
move
so we
far
need to
less
call
step.
that out. Call out that they're like switching sides basically.
But
and
we
then
also need to be careful if, like, let's say they're trying to go around, but then they bait us back and they drop down, like, under here. We have to know that. We have to know that immediately because we cannot play with our backs against the hole because of Bridget. We can't outdo it.
But the only
And Lucio.
people, like, who's going to be in the point though? Only the Junkrat, maybe Kilby. Actually, no, she's gonna far. So the Junkrat maybe, and then
Yo, where's our Orisa gonna go?
Blizzard. That's it. Those are the only people on the point.
Blizzard, where's our Orisa gonna go? Is this guy back? What?
Yeah, apparently they didn't have enough people to even scrim.
Oh, he said drag me in.
Yeah.
Yo,
Alright, 1v4. I mean 5, let's go.
that's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Ew,
So
they
what
will
happened?
be again?
Like, so I don't really know. It was kind of like supposed to be like a team meeting today, but because like they gave me a position on it, so I was like, okay, well, I'm still trying out for here, right? So I want to keep my options like open because I kind of realize they aren't really coordinated, like out of game, but in game they are, which is kind of like, okay, well, I want to still give them a chance. As opposed to you guys, where you guys are like coordinated in game, sometimes we just like have a problem getting like a little bit tilted. But like honestly, the times that has happened, I wouldn't blame anybody for it because like that's a legitimate reason to get tilted at. Along with it's just been like a unlucky like streak. It really isn't a streak, honestly. Like we have usually gotten the best out of like the 2 days we played scrims, like while I was on here. It's just I don't know, like some people aren't showing up and we're kind of having problems like trying to get everybody like at a certain time in there. So
Yeah, that's.
I don't like
really
I'm
bad.
kind of lost right now because this is something like while I do have like other priorities in life, like I do want to take this like as seriously as possible.
Yeah.
And, like think that you know how Effect like puts in like as much time as it possibly can into this game.
Yeah.
That's basically me. I always try and put in as much time as I possibly can when it comes to like not even just like competitive, right? I'm not talking about competitive, I'm not talking about quick play, I'm not talking about arcade,
No,
I'm
just
talking about like
theory of
pick
the
up
game.
games, I'm talking about scrims, I'm talking about like VOD review, watching other players, trying to see like what they do, like etc. and so forth. And I don't know, it's kind of hard like trying to find other people who are in that mindset instead of like, oh well, I'm gonna try and go pro, and if it doesn't work out, I have something else to like fall back on, which you should have, but it's like I don't want anybody to give up their quote-unquote like in like IRL stuff because of like their dream of going pro, but like at the same time, if this is something like you are really serious on doing, then
Yeah, like
Why
even
you
though.
If
Can't
this is something
expect
serious
things
to
to
you,
Yeah.
whether it's online or real life, like you're gonna put time into it. It doesn't matter if it's
Yeah.
online or real life. Like
exactly.
if it's something that means something to you, you're gonna do it. But did you guys hear what Sombra said? Like when you picked Tracer,
No.
she was like, I've never
Like a
heard that
lizard
before.
laugh.
Yeah. That's literally what she sounded like. You know, like.
Are we done with this map?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we are. So, Phantom, what we were talking about was like playing Orisa Hog with Junk and Widow, and then like,
On here, yeah, it's good.
yeah,
That's very good to what like I used to on my old team. as
yeah,
well.
like
We just
normally
talked
we'll
about
just play-
positioning and yeah, like attacking the point that they already have captured from this location.
I'll be
pretty
right back.
much.
So where would you position yourself as Orisa right now?
So if they have the point, this is the positioning. We're like all coming in at once, and I put the shield here, and we try to knock out whoever's up here,
Mhm.
and also take down shield, which is potentially on the point, and and as soon as we can get picks, slow pushing over to the point.
Okay. That is a very accurate name on top right there.
And then right here, if they're gonna like have hog pulling in that spot. Oh, you failed.
So in that situation, like I do like the Orisa pick. I really do like it along with the hog. If it were me, like I would just wait before, like, say if you guys want to play Widow, right? So like there are two ways you could do it on this map. You could, what's it called? Like you could all play as a team, and then you have a Widow shield to like pick out anybody who's out of position. But from my experience in like higher elo games, like in scrims, that's usually not going to happen. So what I would do is like I would flank to the left side, like over here. You guys can see me. And try and like get my team to distract like the enemy, so I could get a easy like headshot on one of the squishies, preferably Mercy or like Zone.
Yeah.
Because
we were also discussing if we were holding the point, having our Junkrat and Zen in the back here, with like placement of the trap, and if they drop down from the back, like instantly calling it out and stuff.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that can work, but one of the counters I see to that are if you just put, okay, let's say I'm the enemy team. You just put down your shield. Put down your shield for a second.
Right there.
And then tell me when your shield's up.
It's up.
Did you see how long it took me to get from like the back right here down to this like area right here?
Yeah, but
and then absolutely like destroy your shield, and then in turn like focus you as the main target.
Right. So I think what we were saying is, so I've put down my shield. They instantly drop. What we have is a Junkrat with a trap like placed right around here.
Okay.
Audi on Zenyatta like immediately jumps behind this shield.
yeah, because it's two-way too.
And
So
we're throwing our.
All right. Listen, this was only in the scenario of dive. Remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a scenario of they're dropping.
No. Like I didn't say it was like a bad idea. I just wanted to like
Yeah.
know what your like take on it was, because that's something that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
At least if I was in it.
definitely.
It is a good strat. Like don't get me wrong. It's just so I know what you would do if like they kind of figured it out and like, okay, well let's take the fight to them, obviously, but like in a way where we can actually like have a good chance. Because if they're running dive, they will most likely have Lucio on this point because they're gonna get the easy groups off, which means it's gonna be quicker to get the what's it called, like the team down here. They'll probably have like some ultis up if it's in the situation where this is a situation where we have the point capped, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have some ultis up for the most part. So say you have Tracer Pulse Bomb. Well, there you go. Even if you don't have like your left shift up, it still does half the damage.
Right.
Meaning and that's not with Discord like on you as well. So imagine how much it would do. Along with that, like if you have Focus Fire, like you could easily take out the shield and you'd be shieldless for like a little bit, because we would probably have a Hanzo with our dive, because like with his new abilities he can easily follow up, especially with Lucio, because in a situation like that, even if you don't have dive like quote unquote DPS, a Lucio will still make them viable in dive like scenario.
What did I miss? I'm sorry. I was getting
not
food
much,
really quickly.
not much. We're just kind of talking. About
I'm just saying, like, if our Orisa was to put a shield right here in this area right here,
Yeah.
if I'm the enemy, and if I'm playing dive into this, which is viable, I'm gonna go here, and it's gonna be quicker with a Lucio speed boost, in a situation where we're gonna whittle down their shield, we're gonna have a bubble of our own, where we like won't be able to take damage. We're both gonna be shieldless, right? But because I'm dive, I can focus the targets way quickly. We're probably
What would their target be at that point?
Pardon me?
But
What
my
would their
question.
target be at that point? Because I would beef Oda there a lot faster than they can dive me.
No, wait, is that Bulbasaur talking?
Well, that was Audi.
It's Audi.
Yeah. Who's playing Ursa right now?
Bulbasaur.
Yeah, that's Bulbasaur. So my target would be Bulbasaur. Wanna know why? His hitbox is huge for headshots, and when it's discorded as well, like no offense, you're not fast enough Why am I saying no offense? You're not fast enough.
Calling him fat?
You just will. Orisa isn't fast enough, like, to escape it. Orisa.
But we have a Junkrat spamming the room too, though.
But now here's my question: why would? Oh, fuck my mic.
No, go ahead. What's your question? What's your question?
Okay, so
He's fixing his mic.
Oh.
yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, my mic.
Okay.
The moment I was gonna speak, my mic gets unplugged. So, why would people be playing dive on this map? I think dive is honestly not good on this particular map, on Sanctum.
It is when you have a very, very well coordinated team. Dive can work, like, without... Like, look at NYXL, right? Even when Brigade was meta, they still made dive work. They just focused on targets that weren't, like, grouped up, or were... Even if they made one little mistake. Like, I get it, it's pro scene, right? And they're paid to play, and they have, like, the time to...
But they're, like, legitimately, they're... Like, I think, like, what you're saying is true, but... Again, you're comparing teams that we're going to be playing against to people that are literally... That is literally the best team in the world.
However, if we're going to be playing in... I'm assuming you guys won't be playing in Open Division, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We go on a 7-win streak like my old team did. We were only like 3.8k. We got placed against people who were 4.4k. Yeah, they're not the best in the world, but they're gonna have that ability to mimic what the best teams in the world do, and they're gonna be able to do it. So, like, I understand. Like, you have to be playing. Like, with that mindset in mind, you have to be playing in a situation where, okay, I'm gonna respect my teammates. I mean, my enemies. I'm gonna respect their ability that they can obliterate me no matter what I do. But I'm gonna play in a way that I'm gonna try to enable my team to obliterate them before they obliterate us. I get it. They're the best team in the world, like NYXL. But they are only best team in the world because they do this all the time, and they understand the game, and they understand like what works.
I agree. But like, what's the okay? So at that point, if we're playing this comp, they're playing dive, right? But if we win the first fight, we don't need to swap immediately, obviously.
No,
but
no.
If we die, what do we
If we
do?
swap immediately, like when they play dive against this, they're gonna like we don't have the heroes to like get us back enough, and they're obviously faster heroes, right? So they'll be able to like cap point for free basically. When it's like that, you're just playing like attrition when it comes to like objective time.
But on top of, wait a minute. So if we're playing this, right, and we're playing the corner, if they're playing dive, why are they playing Lucio?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like,
Can you repeat your question?
My question is like, okay, if we're playing this comp, right?
Yeah, we're playing
play the
Nightmares
corner.
Hog comp.
Right. So, and they're playing dive, right? And you're saying that what they're gonna do is that they're gonna see us there, and they're gonna go all the way through this room where the mega is, right? And they're gonna take the drop down. They're not gonna be running Lucio if they're playing dive, right?
I would play Lucio on this map.
Yeah,
So
I would think
we
they
play
would.
Lucio Mercy
Yeah.
with all
Wanna
of the
know why?
spam?
Wanna know why? Because with this, look at how squishy I mean, not squishy. Look at our ult batteries. We have 2 huge ult batteries right here. Hog's probably gonna be off on a flank somewhere, so Lucio can easily, like, get the what's it called, ult charge he needs while juking out the hook. Even if he gets hooked, he can switch to his healing song and he'll be able to like get healed, because like the Hog won't have any follow up for the most part. Now, sometimes the Hog will be able to get like the one shot off him if he catches Lucio off guard and isn't like prepared for it. But a good Lucio will know, like, even if he gets hooked, he's still gonna be able to like outlive. Another thing when playing like Lucio into a comp like this, yeah, you guys are playing like this sturdy comp, right? Well, I want that Lucio sound barrier to actually win the fight, because if I win the fight, I know it's gonna be a lot harder for you guys to reestablish yourselves. Along with that, your main instinct, like when the team is like rushing you right here,
I'll be
you're
right
not
back.
gonna stand still. You're gonna back up either to the right or left. If I'm Lucio and I notice you don't have your left shift up, I boop you out. That's an easy team fight right there.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And like, if they fall down that way, like, I think if I see a Lucio in that room, or like we know that they have a Lucio, I think pressing left shift and getting up here is like extremely important for the main tank to just get out.
The only problem is that Audi becomes pointless. It's like what we were talking before.
Who is
Really?
Audi fighting?
Not really. I would just
Zenyatta.
rotate back over
Who
here.
is Audi playing? My bad.
No,
No, he's not pointless.
but like we were just talking about it. Like if he moves into this corner, he can't
What
really
corner?
do anything. Like over here, right next to you.
I mean,
Well,
I don't know
so
about you
that's
guys,
for-
but Discord is still let's say the Zenyatta is a bot. I'm not saying Adi is a bot. But let's say like you're in a comp game. Let's say you're in a comp game and your Zenyatta is a bot. As long as he has Discord up on somebody, that's a rip. First of all, like it's still like an easy team fight because you can focus whoever he's Discorded. A lot of people kind of brush off Discord, but it's
No, I don't.
it's a really. I'm not saying you do brush it off, but sometimes in a team fight, oh, I'm Discorded. Oh well, it's fine. But what if I'm running? If I'm running Orisa and Hog, I'm probably gonna pair it up with a Hanzo and either a Pharah or a Junkrat because of the burst damage, along with Orisa's Supercharger, because Orisa's Supercharger alt generation got buffed recently. So, a Discorded, what's it called? A Discorded 200 HP hero, along with, or even a tank, right? Along with a boosted Hanzo from a Mercy boost, along with the pocket from Orisa's Bongos, it just melts people.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Are we getting back in game or?
I would need.
I'm back.
But okay. So then, what's the best course of action? Do you think if we're playing against Dive with this comp, do you swap immediately?
No. If they so we don't swap immediately. If we lose the point, then yeah, we'd probably swap, and we'd either play a better dive against them, which we can do, or we play anti-dive, which is haha, good old goats comp, because that is a map that doesn't have high ground.
That is true. We could do that.
As much as I hate to admit it, sometimes goats comp is good. Sometimes you can just run it into them and they won't know what to do. Because Brigitte is OP. Because why label yourself as an esport when you can just get her couch rolls and make more money off the game?
True.
Okay, so we discussed like holding the point, or we already have the point and them diving into us. What if it's first fight? Like we also discussed first fight, both teams have a Orisa Hog. What about first fight, we have a Orisa Hog, they have dive? Yeah.
So
Can somebody invite Taylor?
you play into, they want you to play into their game, right?
Yeah.
Dive relies on picking off people
So she's
who
in
are
comp,
like
I can.
either A, out of position, or B, just diving people. Literally diving the team to try and like win. Like
Right, so,
lure
like,
attrition. But
We
if
start
everybody's
here. This is where we're going to be starting.
exactly. But
So
if I
They're
was
going to be running into us, like, assumedly. So, the question, I guess, is, are we focusing down their main tanks, or are we pushing past them to their healers?
well, I'm gonna answer that question with another question. Why are you putting your shield here if you know they're running dive, right? Because you're farther away from the point.
Yeah, we're not
Well,
gonna have.
I guess
There's
we're
no
talking
spam.
about first fight.
Yeah,
so,
this is
No
first
spam,
fight.
right?
This is
There's
first
no
fight,
spam.
right? So if we're running this spam comp into a dive, yeah, I get it. We want to run. Yeah, it can work, right? But if I'm playing dive into a spam comp, I'm not gonna be top left right here because I know I'm not gonna do shit because you have an Orisa shield
just
and
run
there's
to
a
the
hog
point.
who can hook me. Along with spam, that's not gonna be able to like enable me to go in. Instead, I'm gonna go on to point where there's a lot more free like space where I can dodge all the spam, along with like space where I can make a play. We're all spread out. You can't focus us all with like a Junkrat who's just like raining in mines in a closed area, which will get all of that AoE like damage. Instead of here, we're all spread it out. Yeah, we have the Orisa bubble. I mean, the Orisa like grapple, but let's say I'm Winston or I'm Tracer. If you grapple me off, I have an E as Tracer.
Yeah,
I have a left
exactly.
shift as Winston, and I have a defense matrix as not defense matrix, my bad. A left shift as
Yeah.
Diva.
If they're running dive, the only character, and if they're running Lucio with it, all of them can get out. It might be kind of hard for the Lucio, but if they're running Zen instead of Lucio, Zen's the only character you can pull into that peg.
Exactly. So, what I would do is, if I was Orisa, I'd put my shield right here, because if they dive me, we're fucked, because it's a small, like, corridor, and we can literally just
Okay.
spam.
So
And then
okay,
we push
so
up.
This is the one time we would take this positioning then, if they're running. I think enemy team runs dive, that's the only time this positioning will work.
Because if they're running spam,
I still feel this is really shit. Like, I can get flanked really easily here and get one clipped. Remember, we're not running Diva. Like, once I get Dove, I'm dead.
What supports are we gonna be having?
Mercy's dead.
Well,
Yeah, that's what we were
I mean,
contemplating.
like we can, like I don't. Okay, here's the thing, right? Even if we have dive, I mean, even if they have dive, they will still be able to. Yeah, they're gonna be able to reposition, right? But if we know they're going left side, why would we stay here? Why don't we go onto point in a position where we put the shield down? Now all of a sudden, oh, they're behind us. Let's put the shield down right here. Well, fuck. Are we gonna dive them and risk like losing a team fight, or are we gonna flank around back and play the string around the rosy bullshit? We'll still be in a better position, right? Because this comp is best when we're set up on point. And if they're playing dive, they want us to be set up on point because that's their best like chance that they're gonna be doing it. Because somebody's gonna be dead. When we're playing this comp, we're losing somebody. It's inevitable. Just like when we play dive, we're losing somebody. Like, it's honestly inevitable. Like, I hate to say it, but the problem, like, the way we win this is we get the better picks.
Right.
That's
Okay,
what Overwatch
so
is about. Getting the
I
better
think
picks and getting the better comp.
I think the biggest thing for the beginning of this game is, like, once we're coming through this doorway, looking through that window and determining whether they're running the Orisa Hog or the dive comp, and that will determine which setup we take, the right setup or the left setup.
Well, you also have to remember about this too. If this isn't the first map, like, okay.
We will have
Yeah,
known
so we'll know. We'll be like, okay, so these guys like to run dive a lot, so then we'll know right from the bat where to go.
Right. That makes sense.
Stop,
Unless,
stop killing me. Stop.
unless you know they're doing what we're doing as well and having different comps for different maps, like.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is most likely gonna happen if we're playing a high elo team.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, every team
So,
does still.
You can't
like-
assume, but you can take inform.
Yeah, you can be
decisions.
ready for it.
Yeah. Wait.
Yes.
EMP
Yeah,
takes down the
take it
Symmetra
away.
shield?
Yep. Why wouldn't it?
Holy
It's a
shit.
shield. EMP takes out shields.
Yeah, it's a shield. It does kill it.
Doesn't make Sombra good. Like, she's still like absolute
Yeah,
like trash.
Sim is still
meta.
pretty.
But I mean,
Well, have you seen her changes?
Sombra's changes? Yeah, they're dog shit. Coming from a Sombra main, like,
I
they're
don't think
absolute
she's. I
dog
don't think
shit.
she's that awful, but like it's.
You
I don't
took
know.
okay. Here's the thing. Her like shift ability, you could already get wherever you wanted to map either way, right? Along with like translocator. Like, yeah, I get it. The translocator is kind of a quality of life change, like having to be able to destroy it. But I wouldn't want it to be like, what's it called? What's it called?
Can you stop? Okay.
I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Oh,
I
so
don't
then
want it to
the
be like,
translocator.
what's it called? Permanent. It's nice to have, but in a situation like this, like in a meta like this, Summer doesn't get any support whatsoever. Let's say you hack the Rein, you get a really good hack. Normally, the Rein would be dead, but they're gonna be running Brigitte, they're gonna be running Mercy, and they're gonna be running Zen. All you have to do is hold M1 on Mercy, and you have to hold M1 as Brigitte when taking the team fight, and then you have to hold Discord on one, like somebody else's Zen, and then have your support. You just put your resources and dump them into whoever's the hack target, and you're gonna keep them up. That's why Sombra was so good. It enabled like somebody to be a really easy pick. But when you have that triple support meta where you can just get so much healing on one target, like there's no point. EMPs, yeah, it's kind of great if you want to like get a team like wipe. But remember, EMP doesn't take away Brigitte's rally. It doesn't take away Brigitte's ability to AoE heal, and it certainly doesn't take away what's it called? Mercy's ability to heal as well. So what's the point? Along with that, they're trying to push Sombra as like this stealth hero who can just pick off whoever she wants, when in reality you can't, because A, her damage is too low, and B, the Brigitte meta. She was fine in her, she was very, very fine, like the way she was, but people were just like, oh, well, I don't want to like learn how to counter somebody, so I'm just gonna complain. Think of it as like this. Why are people complaining about Brigitte? Like, why is Normie Watch complaining about Brigitte? I mean, not complaining about Brigitte, but they complain about Sombra. Because Brigitte's more likable as a hero, and is more, like, can bring in more money because the people are like, oh well, she's a good guy and she's like she has this awesome lore and she's Reinhardt Squire. Who wouldn't love her, right? As opposed to Sombra,
Right.
some bad like bitch who's like, oh well, I can just hack you, no fun. But Brigitte's no fun, and people love her.
All right. I mean, I get that. That's true.
I love Sombra. I really wish she was back in meta because like a good Sombra can like carry the game.
I
Not
just don't like
just
hacking. I just don't like hacks, to be honest with you. I mean, as much as I hate Brigitte too, but
I understand, but like she was still very counterable because. Okay,
yeah, but it doesn't make
let's
it
say
any more
you're-
fun to play.
Yeah, but look at it this way, right? Say you're trying to hack somebody. If a diva has good enough reaction time, you just have to sprinkle
You can just
Sombra.
stop it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
You
like,
can
do you know how
sprinkle
fast you have to
Sombra
react?
from
Well, like,
halfway.
if you're really good, sure, but like the point is that you're taking that into consideration of like, if you play ranked, you're assuming that your divas are gonna do that for you. It's not gonna happen.
But I mean, like, that's the thing, right? You need to have people. You need to assume your diva's gonna do that because it's ranked. Overall,
But
it's just
then-
a team-based game.
Yeah, but you can't assume that. You know you can't assume.
Well,
that.
okay.
I know I
so,
can't assume that, but I mean, like, I would play a hero where I can actually enable myself to shit on that Sombra. Maybe say, hey, I can play diva. And if I play diva, most likely they're gonna be like, oh well, this means I got to play DPS. Sure, why not? Or they're like, oh fuck, I'm not doing shit against the Sombra. I really want to win. Hey, if
Yeah,
you can counter the
but-
Sombra, let me do it.
But it's just a matter of the idea of the character literally taking away the ability of another character to play the game.
That's
That
very
can-
true. That's very true. However, you have the ability to play heroes who can absolutely one-clip squishies, such as Zen, and you have Genji who can literally wipe a team with a Nano Blade.
Right.
So,
but-
like, what's the
but-
difference?
Okay, the difference is that Tracer, one clipping isn't as hard as people make it seem to be, right? But what are the chances in reality in a team-based game, right? Like if you're playing with a team, how often are you going to be able to one clip a Zenyatta without someone trying to help you or being someone right there with you? But if you're playing ranked, yeah, it's more than likely you're going to get one clip by a good Tracer, right? Which is the same thing with Sombra. Like, you're not going to get saved by a diva when you're trying to get hacked. It's like, it's just not a thing. Right?
I
You're
was
just
able
gonna
to
get...
one-clip people. Like, even when I was playing against, like, 4.2k
I know,
teams
I'm
with
saying it's
Tracer,
not...
like,
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm sure you could do it. I'm sure I could do it. I'm sure anybody that plays Tracer remotely decent enough can do it, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's a lot harder, right? It's a
well,
lot
yeah,
harder.
but I mean, like, that's kind of the point. Like, you're playing these harder teams because you want to have, like, a harder challenge, because in reality, if you do make it to pro, you're going to be playing against, like, harder situations.
Yeah,
But there's no-
exactly.
but
I
there-
think we're talking about a difference of context right now, and the context that Sand is talking about is from a like any player entering the game kind of context, whereas Phantom's talking about the highest level like pro scene, like determining what's best for the game.
Like,
just-
I don't,
the pro.
yeah,
I
like, I
get
don't
it.
care about quick play. I don't even care about comp. Like, I don't play comp as much as I like.
Neither do I.
Because I like scrimming. Because when I scrim, I'm actually gonna have a team that's A, it's more enjoyable, and B, it actually helps me like get my mechanics where I can put it into comp, where SR is online.
Mhm.
So, like, I understand your
I
like
think
argument.
both things are valid.
I'm just trying to say that like Sombra itself, there is essentially no counterplay to it, like by yourself.
Oh
right?
yeah, no shit. I mean, my bad. I
Go
don't.
for it,
When
man.
okay, don't get me wrong. Whenever like I swear, say
No,
stuff like
I know,
that,
I get it.
I really don't mean it in like the worst context at all.
I know.
Like I am a little bit. I'm a little bit vocal when it comes to stuff like
That's
that,
fine.
and like I don't mean it at all. I just want to like make that
Right,
clear.
that's cool.
But anyway, let's say yeah. So you want to know who counters Sombra is basically like what you're trying to say, right?
Well, yeah. There's like really
Sombra.
no.
Sombra
no-
counters Sombra. Sombra. A good Sombra can counter another Sombra because you're hacking their backline. So like, oh fuck, well now either I have to make a decision. Do I want to help out my backline as Sombra and hack the enemy Sombra? So it's a 5v6 situation for our team, or do I want to let her do her work and risk somebody getting one clip that like in the end because I don't have what's it called? Like
But don't you think that's
it's
bad
like
game
a sport
design?
position.
Like the most effective way in that scenario is to
Well,
counter
think
a
of it this
character
way,
with another
right?
character of the same
Here,
kind.
think of it this way. Think of it this way. Nobody complains about Widow being able to one-shot somebody because it's high skill. Sombra is high skill as well.
I would beg to differ on
I-
that.
like,
I,
trust me,
play
plenty
with
of
a
people
lot
complain
of
about that.
silvers, and
I hate Widow.
they
I
complain.
hate Widow. I hate Widow because a good Widow can carry a game because instead of like making this really great play, and having this like really good team coordination, it can get shut down because of one headshot, because of like clicking on their head, lol, forehead, literally. I don't think that should be in a game like this.
Well,
but
I agree with you. I think Widow is a super strong character. It is hard to play. Yeah, you have to click people's heads all the time, but it's still like a character that can completely control the pace of the game by itself. So I don't necessarily think it's a good thing.
But Sombra can control the pace of the game by herself.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's less skill based.
I have people I play with that say no hero should be able to one-shot another hero with any ability besides an ult.
There's
And
Haha, haha.
there's Widow, and there's Pharah.
And
yeah,
Hanzo.
no, I know.
Everybody's OP in this game. I just
Exactly.
like everybody's OP to a point where nobody's OP. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, it's balanced because everyone's OP, but at the same time,
Exactly.
everyone's OP. Yeah, no, I get that. Also, wait, before we keep talking about this, so you see where I'm at right now?
I'm dead. You know,
Okay, well, okay, I'm gonna shoot rockets.
Yeah, I see where you are.
So like, this is like not a bad spot. like
for
for Pharah.
You can go up there and see if you don't get shit up.
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
side
like,
bumpers, dude.
on their
Playing
side.
around
Yeah.
that pillar, yeah.
Yeah, like if they come around over the top, I can just rocket.
But
them
they
right-
would be able. I don't know. Like I would.
I can
be
get
able to
out.
see
I
you.
can always get out from here,
Mhm.
and I can get out, and then I'm gonna find.
But if they're
position.
playing a hit scan like a Widow and she grapple hooks to you and like gets that right click because she has the momentum, right? She just has to wait for you to be in her crosshair. Like even just putting your crosshair in a location where you know what there is gonna be, like it's devastating against it.
But like, how are they? Well, one, they have to know that I'm there.
exactly,
first
but
of
they
all.
can see you're there, right? Like if I'm walking through spawn and I'm looking at the chart,
Right.
well, go put yourself back up there again.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure you can
I can
see
see-
me. Yeah,
I can
yeah,
see me.
sure. But like, if you're looking, like, are you actually gonna be looking
Yeah,
up here if you're
I
walking
always
through?
look.
Okay, here,
Actually,
wait,
I don't even have to
yeah,
put
I
my
can see you
camera
from
to see
spawn.
you.
Can you actually?
Look at
Can you
this,
actually?
right?
Okay, I
You're gonna
couldn't
have
tell
a
you
red
from
outline. You're gonna
Okay,
have a
you're
red
right, you're
outline,
right,
right? So it's
you're
gonna
right.
be like harder to see.
I couldn't
I look
tell
at
that if
every
we could see
single
from
corner.
spawn.
I look at every single like nook and cranny because I'm a flanker DPS because I used to be a flanker DPS. I know where they're gonna be because that's where I would be. That's the best
But
location where I
anyways,
would be.
You're right. I'm now probably not a good idea just because like I didn't notice that you could see directly from spawn.
Yeah.
But if they were playing something like Goats Comp, where they can't touch you there, then
Yeah,
yes,
that's
it's a
probably different.
great place to like get it, like put it in. Or if they don't have hit scan,
So,
then it's still a great place. Because yeah, the
Good.
Diva can dive you, and what's it called? The Winston can dive you, but you still have your like concussive blast ability to like boop yourself away from the danger.
yeah.
Yeah, but still, like, with that in mind, like, they're playing Ghost Comp. If we, like, wipe them and they're, like, all respawning, somebody can switch to Widow and just try and
Yeah.
snipe you there and then switch back immediately.
Yeah, I can
Exactly.
keep that in mind. Where if we do wipe them, and I'll probably just drop down for a second. I'll probably be like right here, and then I can get right back up top if
Yeah.
they don't play Widow. But let's talk about the map so we can get this over with.
Yeah.
So
Would you think Ryan is the first?
I think
Main
Ryan
tank
Zarya
decision.
is good for this map. I think Zarya is
Yeah.
good on this one.
I think Grand Zarya would be better here because you have like more area where you could get like a shatter off, as opposed to the only area where you could get a shatter in Sanctum would be like the main point.
Yeah.
Where here you have this entirely open space, along with right here you have this tight little corner. You get that shield breakdown, you hit Q, they're all down.
Dude, I love this map for Ryan.
You have a GG.
Yeah, I would probably say just Ryan, Zarya, Zen, Mercy, and then Pharah, and maybe even Junkrat. I think Junkrat's really good on this map.
Like honestly, Koth only Koth is like so dependent on your picks and just your team like coordination. That's it. I don't think strats matter when it comes to Koth, unless you're talking to like ulti strats. Say for instance you're running like Zarya Ryan up here, and you have a Pharah with you as well. If they're coming top left for a final push because they're not expecting it, you use grab like right here where I'm shooting. They're not gonna expect it because A, they can't see you, and B, you're gonna have a Hanzo like Sonic Arrow who can easily like determine where they're coming from. You grab it, they won't be able to see it. You can use your Dragon if you have it up, or you can use your what's it called? Your Barrage if you have it up. And even if you don't have it up, you still have Pharah who can lay in a huge amount of damage, even through Transcendence if you get the Discord orb up there. Because the main reason why they'd go up here is if they're trying to make a play and it's like the last fight, And believe it or not, a lot of people will try and go up there because they don't think people will expect it.
Yeah, I know Widows go up there very often.
It's so
Exactly.
easy to tell if someone's going up there, though.
Well,
How so?
not initially. Like if we're playing point or we're playing up a bit, like you can't see that back left corner where they're going. So you don't know if they're gonna be going down
over
in
here.
the mega health pack or up top
No,
or
you play over here, dude. There's always someone over here.
over here.
You can see.
Oh, you're talking about the okay. Well, okay, you can see if they're going that direction, but you don't know if they're taking the bottom path or if they're going up the stairs.
But if we're playing Pharah, we
Oh,
can
you
see
can
it.
tell. You can see upstairs.
But if I'm playing Pharah, I can see it from here.
Hold up, come here.
Look,
Okay,
I'm
something-
100% sure
Hold
you
up, guys,
can.
relax.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is something I do to degrade my team the enemy team all the time. I'm going up top here, but oh shit, they
Yeah,
can't
drop
see
down.
me now, but I drop down
Yeah.
here, and we have a Lucio. Let's just take the fight to them.
Can you do that again? Can you do that again?
Yeah, give me a second.
Just give me a few seconds to. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Okay, and go ahead. Yeah, there's no way for me to tell unless I'm peeking over the side of the wall.
Exactly.
So I could do that.
But if
that's
you
not
are
an
peeking
issue.
over the side of a wall and we have like the faster characters, we're gonna get on point first, and you're gonna be out of position.
Well, I'm playing Pharah, so that's not
Oh,
that
you're
big of an
playing
issue.
Pharah, not bad.
Yeah. Like if
Or-
we're gonna be playing Pharah, this might more than likely.
Or if there's a widow
I'm pretty
here,
sure you could react to that, even with Lucio's speed boost.
So like
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
can.
be watching. I
Or
could be
if there's
watching.
Widow here, Widow can go down the stairs, make it look like she's like going with the team, and then hook up to the top.
But here's the thing, like, so what if we can predict it? Like, people do it all the time, and they
Yeah,
win some
yeah.
votes. Like, just knowing where we're gonna go isn't gonna give us the advantage. Like,
Well, no,
like,
but it's
it
good
will
to
give us the
know.
advantage. It is good to know. Don't get me wrong. Like, but it doesn't really mean like we're gonna win the fight like automatically. Like, we can prepare for it, but if they have this like huge play that we like aren't expecting, or they just get like the luck of a draw, basically, like get a lucky pick in front of us as our position, because it happens sometimes.
Mhm.
Like, it will like cost us healing.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, it's all
If we're not aware, yeah.
So like
it will
yeah,
cost
if we're gonna
us.
be playing Pharah on the map, I could always scout.
basically, unless they have Widow, where you have to be really careful.
Yeah, like normally, like I'll just be like here looking, seeing where they're coming from. If not, if they have Widow, I just concuss blacks out. So I'm pretty
More
much
likely than not, they will play Widow on this map. But like, there are some teams that like don't want to risk it.
hmm
But I mean, like, it honestly just depends on the team, right?
Would you want to?
Yeah, I'd like to play Widow. I'm confident in myself that I can like pick.
I
up.
never play Widow.
Depends
as a
actually. It
champion,
actually depends. If they don't have Pharah and they're running Goats comp, I'm getting the fuck off Widow.
Yeah, you of course get off Widow.
I'm going something like Hanzo or like Junkrat.
Phantom,
You know,
I will say,
actually,
that first
it-
scrim, you were a very entertaining Widow to watch.
Thank you very much. Sure.
I would say if we're gonna start with Rein Zarya on this map, we should just do Pharah Hanzo.
You think so?
I think so, because, like, I don't know, like, if they're running Pharah, then our Pharah can just, like, we don't need to rely on the Widow to kill it, because we have a Pharah as well. And, I mean, unless they're running Widow and Pharah to the point where our Pharah doesn't even really have a chance to kill their Pharah, then maybe we should go Widow Pharah.
In that
but, like,
situation, okay, in that situation, we do go Widow Pharah, but we use Pharah as bait. So we're gonna bait the Pharah to bait their Pharah close to our team, because most of the time, I won't say most of the time, because some Pharahs are kind of like pussies,
right,
and they just want to like spam. But like if I'm Pharah, I have a really aggressive playstyle, right? So if they like realize, okay, I have a really aggressive playstyle, I'm gonna try and take that 1v1, where I'm gonna get fucked, because the Widow's gonna be positioned like top left, right here in the back, where he can easily get the snipe on like Pharah.
yeah.
That
I don't
being
know.
said, though,
I
it's easy
just-
to change up your playstyle.
Yeah, I just think that we should start with Hanzo Pharah, and then if we lose that fight and we see what they have and we need to switch to Widow, then we do it. But I don't think we should start with it.
That's not a bad idea. I don't think, I guess so.
Okay, so we've discussed approaching the point first off, and then holding the point. How about attacking a point that they hold?
I mean, you really just like
It just really depends on like where they are and what they're doing and what ultis we have.
And then
Okay.
also picks, like we gotta like, if we could get a pick, it makes everything easier.
Exactly. If I can get a pick as Widow or Hanzo, then
Or I get a
like
pick on Pharah, like it's,
exactly, we just like hold W in M1 because we're not gonna have res, and
Yeah.
we get another pick, we win the fight. However, they'll probably expect that, and they will try to do the same thing. So we have to be very careful as well.
Mhm.
Right.
In that situation, if we have Ryan and they have Ryan, it's going to be battle of Ryan's, right? It's going to be one who's going to play more, not more slower, but one who's going to be playing more efficiently. And that can mean that can mean a multitude of anything, right? It could be like more slower. It could mean having your shield up more. It could mean not like getting more ult charge to build up your ult. It could mean keeping your shield up so maybe you're not getting the ult charge, but you're denying the enemy team who isn't Reinhardt to get like the ult charge. And because if that Ryan is swinging while you have your shield up, it's gonna be really easy for us to get those picks. Even for Ryan's bubble, we just focus somebody else.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have one question, sorry.
Okay.
What is your question?
So, alright, so if we're playing against the Widow, right? Wouldn't it be better just for us to be playing D.Va instead of Azaria, just because we need something to like better our chances of winning the Widow duel? Because I don't want to have to gamble on our Widow, or like if it's me playing it or you playing it, on like killing their Widow the whole time, because if we lose the fight on that, we basically lose the whole push, right? Unless we get a res. But even then, so don't you think it'd be better just to play D.Va instead of Azaria? I mean, I guess it would.
Yeah, but okay, so think about it. Think about it like this.
Go ahead.
So if I switch to D.Va and I have to be on their Widow, right? Even when we're running Pharah Widow, if I have to be on their Widow as D.Va, there is literally nobody helping our Reinhardt, and they can just push him for free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a Brigitte, right?
Right, but like it just makes it like I feel like if we're playing the Reinhardt itself and all that stuff, if we're playing Widow, it's gonna make it extremely hard for our Widow to beat their Widow if we're playing. Well, not really. I guess if we're playing with a shield.
Here's the thing.
If we're playing with a shield, then no.
Here's the thing. In this meta, there are two types of playstyles. Dueling, and then like just waiting on ult charge. Most of the time, you really have to rely on your Widow winning that duel. Like, as risky as it sounds, that's usually how it goes. That's usually how it goes all the time as Widow, right? Because if you look at how Linkster plays, maybe he's not getting like, yeah, he will go on huge streaks, right? But not as like he will not go like he will not get as many team wipes as like Pine, who goes on these aggressive flanks and like will focus everybody, including the Widow. A person like Linkster, who is really good on Widow. People who can outsnipe Linkster. Who can outsnipe Linkster? Pine and Dreamcasper. Dreamcasper is out of Overwatch League. And also Carpe. So those are two people who can outsnipe him. If you notice in Overwatch League, I know it is like, sometimes it's not good to like notice and take context on those games, but when it comes to duels like Widow duels, it's a really good place to watch.
Yeah, no, of course, you get the idea of how to peek or like what kind of mind game to play and what corners you can come from. Like if you want to take the jump over a corner as opposed to just walking across it, or
exactly. So when it comes to a situation like that, you have to rely on your Widow to like win that duel, because if you win that duel, they're either A, they're gonna be down 5v6, or B, they're gonna be down Mercy Res. And the Mercy
and if you look
is going to be out of that area right there. So if we're diving the enemy Ryan, yeah, they don't have, like, maybe they bubble him. But if we burst through that bubble, we're still going to be able to melt that Ryan. Either we're going to melt him or his shield.
If you look at that last game that they played, which they lost to Excelsior, like, Linkster was popping off at the beginning, but Excelsior was able to, like, shut him down in those last few games, which is why they ended up losing the 3-2 tie.
Exactly.
Okay. Like, yeah, if your team is shutting down the other team's Widow, like, in a lot of those situations, yeah, it will play to your advantage.
Do you remember our first scrim, like when I was playing Widow? When we were playing on, what's it called?
It was Dorado.
Dorado? I shut down their Widow. I got 2 picks every single team, like, fight. I was playing the Pine style, because I'm a very aggressive player. So, yeah, I lost my life, but still, I got this key target, and I got Mercy to, like, waste her res. Meaning you guys were able to take that fight every single time.
Yeah.
Because I always went on the flank, and they were never expecting it. And even times they were expecting it, I still was able to, like, bait out, like, a shot, and I would be able to crouch shot them, so they would be able to miss.
Yeah.
So, alright, are we good with this map then? We already...
I think so.
Well, one more thing. Is there a situation in which we want to switch to Winston ever on this map?
If it's last fight, and
what if they're playing Winston, though?
Okay.
That's honestly, like, it's 99. It's 99%. we have a Sombra for some reason, and she's stalling point because it's old patch and she's invisible, or it's a Tracer. It'd actually be more likely a Tracer. A Tracer stalls enough time for point where you guys like it's a 5v6 right now, and you guys can get the point. If you guys really feel like okay, we're going to get on point and we don't have any ultis, we run dive into them, and then we just pray that we win. Like we run a Doomfist Diva, like my bad. A Doomfist, Diva, Winston comp, and we play Brigitte into it as well, and we go into Lucio, because that's a really fucky comp, and they won't know what to do. Because it's kind of like, you have a little bit of everything, but you don't excel at, like, one thing, if you know what I mean, right? So it'll take a while to figure out, okay, what do we need to do to, like, beat them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just asking for my and Lizard's benefit.
Yeah. So...
You're recording this, right, Waffle?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
So, alright, are we just done with the poll then?
I think so.
I think so.
Alright, do you think that we would want to go over another one, or you want to...
If everybody
do another
wants
one
to, I'm
tomorrow?
down.
It's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do one more map probably. Just choose a map that's like, I don't know,
Can we
Not
do a
as-
2CP?
not as many maps. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Did we do a TCP one?
No, we have yet
Just
to do a
Nepal.
2CP.
We
But
should do
I-
Hanamura.
if we do Hanamura, that's really in-depth shit. I think that map is like has a lot of
Oh,
shit.
there's so much you can do.
Okay, then do we want to do Volskaya?
Volskaya. Yeah.
There's
What are the-
so
what
much
are the
you can do
map
on
goals?
Volskaya as well.
It's just Hanamura and Volskaya.
I think Volskaya is a little more. It's not as crazy as
a little
Hanamura.
more like.
Or do we
what's
want to
it called?
discuss the Horizon? Like, I know that's.
But what's the
Hey,
map?
new
Horizon's not in
What's
it.
the map?
Horizon's
new
not.
Horizon.
In it.
I
No,
don't know what the map
it's
was for
it's
season
just.
3 yet.
No, I'm talking about.
We're not
I'm
talking
talking about for this
yeah,
tournament.
for the tournament
this
we're
tournament
joining
we play
next one.
on.
Nobody knows what the map pool for season 3 is gonna be.
Okay, that doesn't matter. I think we need to go over this map pool if we're gonna even
Mhm.
consider playing in it.
What's
Yeah.
the what's it called? What's the tournament called?
Waffle, where is it? Is it in text?
Profit Esport. Yeah, it's pinned. It's
Profit Esport is the Discord.
well that Profit Esport Community 6v6
So the
tournament.
2CP we need to work on is Hanamura or Volskaya.
Mhm.
Okay, we can do. Take your pick.
I'd say
I'm pretty,
Volskaya. I
like,
think our
proficient in both of them.
not that our Hanamura is good,
Let's
but
do
I think our
Volskaya.
Volskaya is worse.
Yeah, okay, let's do Volskaya. Let's load it up. Okay, this is one of those maps where, because it's not COF and it's not straightforward, I think we should go back to like the private call so I can show you guys like the top-down
Okay,
view.
2 seconds. I will be right back.
No worries. Because with Volskaya, you could run anything and it could work. Literally anything. Like you could run a Sombra on Volskaya and it'll work because of EMP. And
Mhm.
because there's like it's so open where the point like yeah, you have that 3-corner healing. I mean that 3 like triple support healing, but like you just focus somebody else instead of a Reinhardt or like a main pick like a tank or something like that.
Mhm.
Like you could run dive when they're running Brigitte. You could Sullen.
Yeah, I think the biggest complaint I hear from like everybody on this map is that we play too passively on defense.
Mhm.
We
Well,
let
yeah.
them we let them get all of the space.
Sometimes it's good to give them space, but not all of
But
the
we
space.
like we give them too much.
For
Yeah, we
instance-
basically play on point, which is way too far back.
So here. Because I used to play Ursa a lot, like on my alt account, because everybody was like, nobody wants to play Ursa because she's a slug, even though she has a fucking machine gun, and you can. I don't know about you guys, but when I hear those dinks, those concussive dinks, it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Anyway, just get everybody here, and I can give you some wisdoms of a budget effect. Okay, so a lot of people like to hold up here with Larissa. I don't like it because
Mhm.
if you're running Lucio, your shield's down, and B, they're gonna have point before, like, you can do anything.
Yeah, there's just too many flanks.
There's too many variables. As opposed to holding it right here,
Mhm.
with your shield here, you're gonna be able. Okay, well if they're gonna go to the left side, well we're gonna be ready for them. They're gonna go right side. We can still be ready for them because it's first like attack, right? You're gonna put your shield way before like the timer hits 0 when it comes to them like coming like out of their spawn, so you'll have another shield up already. Where you can easily like, okay, they're coming right side. Here we are. We're putting what's it called? Our shield already here, and they have to figure out, okay, are we gonna put the ring around the rosy bullshit, or are they gonna like go straight into like the team fight and try their luck? Another thing where you could do is you could play here in this area.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or now that I think about it, I actually don't know, because I know New York likes to do this a lot. I just don't know if they put their shield like right up here or if they put it right up here.
Yeah, that's because I think if you put it up here,
like
it'll allow us to contest. Yeah. If you put it back here, I think it has less flank potential, but it like, I mean, we're not holding points, so we'll need
like the main
somebody
reason...
like bothering them in their back line.
Exactly. The main reason you do it here is if you're confident you can whittle down their shield and then you can like run into them because they won't have like anything. Or if you're low on abilities, like if your cooldowns are down and like you need to like get your resources back up. Say like you're Moira and you don't have a lot of healing, well if I just put my shield down here and I right click and I give whoever the suck, then I'm gonna have my resources back so I can like go take the team fight without having to worry, oh, I'm not gonna have enough like healing shit to actually like be viable.
Right.
First point's kind of tricky because like you either get rolled or you like you either roll or you hold, and sometimes you just never know when it is.
Right. So okay, I think we should just discuss like we want to run probably Orisa.
Sorry, I had to grab
I think Ryan's really good.
What do we want
too.
to run for an initial defensive composition?
Who left?
Because of that initial defensive composition, like we can't change from it because we're so far ahead.
Where did Kilby go?
I think Kilby left a while ago when Audi killed her in game.
No, but she's still here.
Oh, what did I do?
No.
I accidentally closed this for back, so my bad. Anyway, so in this situation, if it's first point and we're on the fence, I would really recommend I always like the Orisa Zarya combo or the Orisa Hog. Because
I think
Orisa's Zarya?
Yeah, I feel like it can work. It just depends on like you have to know what their team is, right? So if we're running Goats comp, I would not run that. But if we're running something like Dive, I would run that.
I just don't think that
that makes more sense.
Wait, so what? If we're playing Orisa Zarya, what do we do about high ground?
Right click, Zarya. If we're worrying about high ground, if they're playing Dive, correct? Then like we don't want that. Like we don't want to worry about high ground if they're playing Dive. Let's say they're playing like Genji Tracer, right? But we have shields and we have like Zarya who can get this charge from the projectile damage like from Genji, or like just a spam of like a D.Va left shifting or like a Reinhardt. I mean not Reinhardt. My bad. A Tracer to like trying to like do some poke damage up top here. But Zarya can enable herself to get that charge by poking like outside from the shield, and then being able to get the right click damage off, which can A, get some major like damage to scare them away, and B, gets ult like charge as well.
I feel like Zarya is pretty bad.
What?
I feel Zarya is pretty bad against Dive.
I don't think. Also on top of that, I don't think Zarya is very good on this first point. If we're playing against things that take high ground, because I understand what you're saying exactly, but the problem is that let's say we're playing Orisa Zarya, right? We're probably going to be setting up Mega, right? You would say like our Orisa and Zarya would be playing Mega, or
Yeah,
what would they
so
be
we were discussing like either putting the shield here, putting it here, or putting it back here. Those are the three positions that we...
that they take the high grounds, right? That's assuming if they take the high ground position.
Exactly.
Like Winston D.Va, right? Now, if they do this, right, they literally just drop their Winston on the point with a bubble, right? And they have like a Mercy or
But
something.
you have to bubble him. Like he just plays a corner right here.
Exactly. Okay, well, think of it this way, right? We're just thinking of this situation. When we're making these comps, I just feel like everybody kind of forgets about, like, okay, what about the other heroes, right? We're going to be running, like, a Hanzo on here for sure, and then probably a Widow. So, A, that's major shield break right there, because Hanzo can obliterate a bubble with Storm Arrow. And B, even, like, if he's pocketed, just like spamming Volo can like.
I just don't see the points of running a Zarya here at all.
The Zarya combo we would do would be with the what's it called? Because Orisa
gives Zarya almost 0 energy most of the time.
Not necessarily, because if you
never said all 100% of the time. I said in like most of the time you don't run Zarya with Orisa because you don't get energy. You don't run Zarya into dive because she doesn't do anything to dive.
If a diva is trying to focus you guys down,
yes, but if Zarya doesn't have energy, what is she doing to Diva?
Just being what's it called? Okay, I see your point. I see your point now.
Like, if we have a Zarya with crazy energy, sure, but
exactly.
It's been proven that Zarya has trouble with dive, and they don't feed her energy. That's why you don't play Zarya into dive.
Yes, I do understand that. However, like yes, like don't get me wrong, but a good Zarya, so a really good Zarya can like, if you think of it this way, right? Say the dive's having kind of trouble like trying to focus us down.
I understand what you're saying.
And let's
say
like
the game relies on Zarya to have charge.
No, that's not like what I'm saying at all.
Hey, then if Zarya doesn't have charge, why are we playing Zarya at all?
Because she can get like an ulti. In
Zarya doesn't build ult with no charge.
I think and we also have to keep in mind, like, a lot of these extraneous possibilities, like, I think we have to, we have to build a comp for, we have to build a comp for this point that will cover the most bases.
Zarya does cover most bases.
It'll be difficult to switch.
I just feel like when you guys are, like, thinking about these scenarios, it's just, it comes down to this perfect scenario where we're like, oh, they're gonna run dive. Oh, they're gonna get a perfect every single time. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen at all. Like,
don't get me
wrong. Don't get me wrong. Let me
this counters this and this counters this, right? Like, like you do the same thing to us, but then you say we do the same thing to you.
What do you mean?
I mean, you went on a whole rant about how Sombra was bad, but your whole perspective is from top tier play, like Sand is saying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not reality.
Well, it's not reality, but we have to like strive for that.
I know what you're saying, but you're comparing playing, let's say, a GM level, right, or higher, to playing in a diamond level, for example. The games don't play the same way. People don't think the same way. People don't play comps the same way. You do not understand? So what I'm telling you is, if your perspective is a higher, right? Then if you go help a team that doesn't play that way, how does that help them? If their enemy team doesn't play that way, because you're thinking teams react a certain way and they don't, which makes your picks or your ideas not work. Like they just don't make sense at that point.
I mean, like, I understand. Like, I do understand where you're coming from, right? But I just feel like, okay. So yes, I understand.
You're saying there's a progression system, and you're trying to jump too far ahead.
Just like get my word out. Like I understand you want to get your word out as well.
Speak then, come on.
Okay. I don't think I've been rude to you, so I just don't think. Like, did I say something that was wrong? Like,
no. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, okay. Whoa, stop. So everybody stop for 2 seconds. Okay. Everybody. All right. So, I want to establish this right now. Phantom, you don't know Audie as well, but Audie's not being aggressive. It's just how he talks.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
okay. Because I'm
Audie
how
he talks.
Audie and I had very similar argumentative conversations, and you just get to know.
Right, and I've done it with him too, right? Yeah, get to know him. He's an idiot. You know, he's a
funny idiot. I'm a bot.
Okay, you're right. But look, it's like not meant to be. It's like you said before, right? Like how you talk, you make.
Like I just want to be sure. Like I'm.
Right. Audie's not being aggressive at all. He's just how he talks, right?
So to answer your question, I just feel like you're not realizing. Okay, you're just focusing on the one Zarya, right? But like, here's the thing: if they're running dive and we have a Hanzo and a Widow, the Hanzo and the Widow can destroy the dive, right? Where in that situation, they're probably gonna swap off dive because. If I was getting destroyed on dive, right, I'm gonna swap something up. So maybe I'm gonna run a mirror comp. Now, okay, we're in a situation where, like, if they do swap, we're gonna still have the advantage, right? Because we're gonna have Zarya now. We don't have to go back and swap our Diva, for instance, onto a Zarya, where they're like, what's called Zarya can feed off of our Diva, if you know what I mean. That's kind of like the whole basis, like, of what I'm talking about, because I've seen it happen before.
But by your scenario, right? We want a shield right here, right? What you're saying? We're playing Zarya into this, and they're playing Dive. Like, I just don't understand where Zarya can be useful.
Yeah, I really don't think
Like, Zarya
is that
just
good either
doesn't
here.
get charged
in
in
a
Dive
situa-
unless the
okay.
Dive is, like, really bad,
In a
really.
situation where I don't know, like I'm just thinking you're forgetting about our snipers. If the dive happens to focus shift onto our snipers, we have a bubble that can provide peel, along with us being able to provide peel for the snipers as well. Say if the Mercy holds shift, like if the Mercy shifts but presses space, and like you know that slingshot mechanic, right? With Mercy, where if she
Yeah.
presses shift in space, she's not gonna like go to the point where she wants. She'll like she'll start to float and like fall down. If you do that, like if I'm up here and I'm getting dove on by Winston D.Va, yeah, there's a good
Yeah.
chance I'm gonna dive. But if I have a Zarya bubble, well, now I have a Hanzo like escape ability, and I have a Widow escape ability, which can bring me to the team. Zarya has 40 charge minimum. A 40 charge Zarya can do a lot of work, like onto an enemy team.
So
Because
up here, they take top ground from our snipers, right?
Uh-huh.
So our snipers relocate to where our tanks are in that little cubby, right?
Uh-huh.
Alright, so the tanks just moved to where I just threw my translocate.
Yep.
They're down here, right?
Yep.
So the snipers are stuck in here, not doing anything.
But you can take high ground from there.
Right.
But
So
they can
okay.
take high ground back, right? Like,
But we can provide the peel for that. See, if they're both of their tank, okay.
exactly. What's
If both
peeling?
of their
Because
tanks-
Zarya Bubble is not real peel. It's only 150 HP.
It's 200 HP.
Oh, it's 150. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's 200.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 150. But it doesn't matter. Let's say it's 200. It's 200 HP, right? They can still burst through that relatively fast. The Genji and
That's
Tracer
true.
alone can kill through that.
That's very true, but if we're okay, so think of it this way. A lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, like I understand, because when I was first told it, like I absolutely thought it was dog shit. But when I saw it actually happen, like I was like, oh fuck, I understand like what's going on. It's a really, really risky strat. Like don't get me wrong, but I'm all about risky strats because I'm confident that like we as players can build ourselves up to the mechanics and the game sense. We can make this work because if we run this and they don't know what the fuck like to do, like. Think of it as, like, when it comes to Old Sim, right? When Old Sim, people didn't know what the fuck to do, like, sometimes. Especially in, like, top 500 and top, like, in GM. That's how I look at it as well. But in this situation, you're like, oh, fuck, it's a Zarya. I can counter Zarya, because it's a meta. It's something that's actually, like, viable. I know how to counter it. As opposed to Sim, oh, I'm just gonna flame my, like, self, I'm just gonna, like, what's it called? I'm gonna brush it off and say, like, we're just gonna keep running the shit into it, because I know, like, it's not gonna work out, because it's a Sim main. If you know what I mean.
Okay. So, I want to recap this, right, so we don't go off track.
Yep.
Okay. Now, what was the decision that we're going to do that you said that you proposed to do on defense? What is the
So this is one of the two options that I wanted to do. My first option was Orisa Zarya with double sniper and having
Mercy and Zenyatta?
like Mercy Zen, exactly. My second option, which is probably what I would go with, but I do like trying like odd comps as well because
I mean, I'm cool with
I like experimenting.
Just
So-
want to understand the logic behind it.
So like what I would run probably was Rhina, not Rhina, an Orisa Hog. Because the Hog can get a lot more value out here. But as soon as he walks out, he's a walking ult battery.
Okay.
So there's downsides to each, like,
But regardless of scenario, two snipers. Or do you want to
regardless
do, like,
scenario, yes, two snipers. Two
and,
snipers.
and you would want to play, like, I'm assuming Widow back here, where I am.
Probably, or I would take, like,
Or this
I don't know,
area.
there's a really
you know the
good,
spot
like-
right here, right?
yeah, no, it's not. Right here, it's OP. Because
Okay,
their
and
Widow, they won't
Neither
know.
of those scenarios was Orisa Devo, right?
No.
And why
I don't like
wouldn't we
running
wanna do
Orisa D.Va because like Orisa, because you're pairing a slow tank with a really like high mobility tank, and there's
Right.
no synergy with there.
But do they... Okay, but I say Orisa and Zarya have no synergy either.
I
Yeah,
think
we've
that's
actually
They
ran.
can have it. It's just really, really hard.
But
I just
like
don't
if you
see
see,
them.
but like it's possible, right?
It's 100% possible. It's just really, really hard.
But we can work towards like that working.
But what are the perks of it again? I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I
The
was
perks
like
of it, the way I see it is if so a Zarya can, I get it. Zarya's probably not gonna let charge, but I can guarantee you that she can at least get 40 charge. At least.
That's
more
what
than
I'm
enough.
complaining about, right? If Zarya doesn't have the charge, then what? There's no point in playing Zarya. If you want Zarya for the bubble, for the peel, you might as well just play D.Va at that point.
But
Yeah, that's my point.
But sometimes, even when you play a comp like a spam comp, Zarya might not get a lot of charge. So like, what's the point? Like I understand your rebuttal, but like.
But especially on a map like this though, where I just don't see it. Like, okay, so like you're.
Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
What's that?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted you.
Oh no, I didn't even notice you. I was gonna talk over you regardless of what you were gonna say, anyways.
Okay.
But so I just don't see the point. If we're okay, like if we're gonna go based off the logic, the Zarya is not gonna have that much charge anyways, right? So then, like we play D.Va, right? D.Va gives us the opportunity to like, let's say if they're playing Widow, and then like they push in towards the point, and then their Widow gets up here. But we have literally nothing for it if we're playing.
But are we gonna be playing like Orisa? What's it called? Orisa D.Va in that situation?
But why not?
We've
We're
ran
just not
Orisa
saying
D.Va
we're playing
so
Orisa
many
D.Va. We're
times.
just saying
Because-
by your logic that it makes more sense to play D.Va in that scenario.
Yeah.
D.Va
Like,
does more damage than a low charge Zarya, and she has better peel, right?
That's
You
true,
said we were
but the
playing
synergy
Zarya.
there- That's true, but the synergy in that situation wouldn't be as strong. Because you're
the
pairing a low low mobility tank with a high mobility tank. What's
I
gonna
see
happen?
But
what
at the same time, you're putting two low mobility tanks right together, and you're saying that that's synergy, or is there more to the combo that is more synergetic? Because I don't get the synergy between Orisa and Zarya at
The
all.
synergy between Orisa is okay. So think of it this way, right?
Okay.
If I'm Orisa and I'm trying, and there's a Ryan. Okay, let's say there's a Ryan right here, or maybe there's a Winston. Winston's bubble is down, but the D.Va's DM is up, right? So D.Va DM goes down. I hook. What's it called? I'm Orisa. I do a mini grab on the right side, and then it gets two people. Even two people.
But
is
you're
enough.
assuming. Okay. Go on. Continue.
So then I can right click as Zarya, and if I'm damage boosted by Mercy, that does a lot of damage and can get you a lot of ult charge.
Okay, but you're assuming that pool's gonna get two people for sure. They're gonna be playing a position. On top of that, you're assuming that your Zarya is gonna hit the right click and then hit
Well, we
with damage
have to
boost.
assume that. We have to assume that if that comp's gonna work. We don't just go in like. I
Well,
don't
we
get
can-
like okay when you play dive, right? You assume that Tracer and Genji are gonna do work and they're gonna dive the same targets as D.Va and Winston. Why can't we assume the same thing? when it comes to
Because
stuff
what
like
you're
this?
assuming is fine, but the way you're describing it to us is that the reasons why you want Zarya, other tanks fit the bill better.
But on top of that, look, okay, I'll give you the example like you said, Tracer and Genji, right, and then like Orisa Zarya, right?
Mhm.
So, one scenario where we're playing Orisa and Zarya, they're coming to us, right? Or we're assuming that they're going to be in a position where we can right-click the fucking pole, right? Well, we can do that and get several amount of people and be able to right-click it at the same time, right? That's an assumption that they're going to be in a position to do that. Whereas Tracer and Genji can put themselves in those scenarios and move themselves
Right.
into those spots.
Okay,
That's a different
That's
situation.
more dependent. That's so the Tracer Genji. I think what Sand is getting at is it's more dependent on you
The
knowing that your
players.
teammates will be doing that. Whereas the situation you're talking about, Phantom, is you're assuming that the enemy players will be doing those things.
Right.
Okay,
That's what
I
I'm
see what you
basing-
mean. I see what you mean.
So it makes it much more reliant on them as opposed to reliant on us, right?
No, you
Which,
do have.
I mean,
a
I'm not saying that your idea is bad. I just think that it's like it's very
get me-
like
Don't get me wrong. Like my idea is in a situation where like the way I do this is like if everything is like pitch perfect, right? Because when I play a game, I'm hoping like everything goes like that. But sometimes I do know like it's bad, and sometimes if I know it's not working, like I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna tell you
suggest us,
something
like-
right now. Like I don't know if you've ever played like competitive games of any kind like before, like actually like really highly competitive, like top of the game status. But even in those positions, you can never ever assume everything is ever gonna go into perfect spots like that. You cannot be hoping that things will go perfectly ever
You
because
also
on
have
top
to look at his like point of view, Chi. Like
I get it
his
totally.
idea is that if we play the Zarya Orisa comp as good, right?
We're,
Mhm.
we
They'll
need to
swap.
make our-
They'll swap to something where Zarya is really good against, right?
because they think they're gonna be able to do it. That's Overwatch
So you're
is
going
a
based
game.
off of their cockiness.
Yeah, it happens all the
Interesting.
time.
Interesting. I don't think that's a bad thing either. Hey, listen, I like playing with people's emotions like that. I like that. That's good. But
Do you know? Okay, like I used to play with this really toxic guy, like in one of my old teams,
Uh-huh.
and in comp he would just shit talk the enemy team. It was easy games.
What's his battle
Easy
tag?
games.
That's Audie, literally. It's literally him. But go ahead.
And like, so when you play with their emotions in the sense that we're kind of fucking them, because the main job of like the sniper would be to fuck them, to put them in that position to fuck them. They're seeing, oh, they have a Zarya. I can play a better Zarya because there's Hanzo. I can get the charge off of Hanzo and his E ability. So yes, I understand where you guys are coming from, but also you have to like, the way I look at it is I don't look at them as just like heroes, right? I'm thinking about the player as well. I look at how they play and I look at like what they do, and I can tell whether or not they're like overestimating their ability.
How would you know that and build a comp around that if you don't actually know the player?
But based off like a few games, right?
Yeah, but like,
if you're go ahead.
I just think that's like, I like your idea because I totally believe that mind games and understanding how players work, downloading players is a real thing. But the thing is that you cannot just do that like all the time. Because what if they're not emotional players?
They're not. Then we swap. Then we swap.
And
we don't know that.
Yeah,
right?
but we're giving up essentially. We're at that point. We're switching, like we're giving up a first point potentially, because we want to see if they play with their dicks or if they play with their brains. Like that's literally what it is.
But sometimes, like, believe it or not, like, I understand, but like, believe it or not, like, a lot of teams like do have trouble trying to hold first point as well, right? So when you're playing something that's like a little, like, off meta, it's like no different in Cheese, right? In Cheese, they don't know what to do because like, oh, I haven't played against this before. How do I go about it?
Yeah, but like when you're playing against better teams, like assuming, like you said, you want to strive to play against better teams, right? So like when we play against better teams, they're gonna be able to take a second, sit back, and realize, okay, we need to do it like this. They'll figure something out. Yeah, if we're smart enough and we're really prepared, we can figure out basically every counter to it. But a comp like this is like, we're so reliant on the idea that our two tanks are gonna be able to peel for each other so well with a bubble, right?
Not just tanks.
No,
though,
we don't
like,
have.
You have to have the peel for the two snipers too.
Like that too. Like and remember this, right? So we can't play out in the open as both the tanks, those two tanks cannot play out in the open. They have to play inside.
All right, okay. Let's just assume like this works, right?
Uh-huh.
What comp do you think they'll switch to an offense?
That will
If
work.
their dive doesn't work.
So we're assuming that they're gonna be running we're gonna be running a Orisa, a Zarya, double sniper, Mercy Zun, right?
Yeah.
If I were them, and I was like kind of thinking, okay, what am I gonna do? Either Goats comp or Fair Mercy, along with Hanzo, because I'm gonna be like, maybe I can, you know, jiggle peek the Widow with my shots, try to get her out of the like a position. Because Shadowburn, when he plays Fair, does it all the time against people like Linkster.
Yeah. I just think that like if
Don't get me wrong, this is a high risk, high reward comp, right?
I think it's worth trying to maybe see if it works, but the thing is, to be honest with you, it's just the theory of it to me is really wishy-washy. Just because it's more based off of them playing how they playing against their emotions. You get me? Like that to me, just it's risky as fuck because it just doesn't make like actual theory sense. It doesn't.
But like Goats comp also didn't make sense as well, right? And look how far that got them.
But how does that not make sense? Like I don't like that
because you could easily play because because people didn't know how to counter it at the time, and then like it kind of fucked with their emotions. They're like, oh fuck, what am I doing? Like,
right?
How do I do this? Like, am I bad?
It's still a thing though.
It is
mainly
still a thing.
because like on offense that comp is so good because like you have to, the only way you can essentially stop it is if you predict that they're going to be playing it first push and then you play something to stop it, right? But then no matter what, that team that's on offense is going to be on the full advantage because they're going to be like, oh, well, we can just swap to counter what they try to counter.
Yeah,
us.
but every team would be on like the full advantage.
But
like
that's my point. That's my point. It's a viable comp, right, for like on offense. You can't do that on defense. Like this comp on defense, in my opinion, is not optimal. But I'm saying, well, it's definitely not as optimal as I think it would be. But I'm not gonna say it's not a playable comp because it could be, but it's just not the best thing you can do because there are holes in it. Maybe not the first push, you'll probably fuck them if they're not prepared for it. But the second push, they can easily swap to something.
Yeah, I really don't think it's worth running risky team
philosophy
comps.
or like this first point or like 2CP in general is pick a comp that can counter the most enemy comps.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. And if
Or limits us the least.
Yeah, it limits your like picks the least, because you can actually use it in different ways. You can morph your comp to the enemy team's comp, to fight against it a lot better, than if you were thinking about very specific things. Right. And I think if you're thinking very specifically, you need to be playing against teams that you know.
So personally, the way I see it is the most flexible sets of DPS characters you can play on defense for this map are Widow. You can either do double sniper or Junkrat Widow, right? I don't think any other essentially DPS, or maybe if we're like one of us gets really good at Sombra. Well, I mean, you play Sombra, so you know
Sombra's dog shit in this meta. Like,
well, in this meta it's dog shit, but I'm saying like for this map in particular, it's good.
Oh yeah,
but
she's really good.
Yeah. So, but like reality is that those are the 3 DPS in my eyes, at least. I can see, or maybe even like I guess like you could run dive on defense, maybe not with Genji, but like you could do like Widow Tracer maybe, because like you can play Tracer on the ground with the 2 like dive tanks, and you play like the top areas, like you play like the Winston and the D.Va like here or over there, and then like you just play the point. But that takes a lot of coordination. But,
and then if you pick and then it comes down to tanks.
And you can't play goats on defense. It's impossible.
You have to pick.
Well, I mean, they can run goats into that.
You have to pick the tanks that have the most viability against the most opposite tanks.
And that's why I think maybe Junk Widow and then like Orisa Hog or Orisa D.Va.
I think Orisa D.Va. I don't think Hog's very good.
Like, I'm not gonna say that.
Hog can be good.
I know, but I don't really think
especially
he's
like.
Said, I think D.Va's better though.
How so?
Because she has the peel and she can control high ground a lot easier.
I just think that if you're playing like, I don't know, like
that's the thing. Like we're not really controlling high ground in this comp, right? We're controlling this room.
Is there any way for you to put a shield that like lets you contest point and then gives us a lot of room to like cover the outside?
Yeah, this is the best kind of shield for that.
Can you move it back more and then contest point?
Well, I don't know. I don't know where the point is. We're at waiting.
The point is like here, like
where's
where
the
crease,
right
the crease.
Can you okay? Well, hold up. Can you swap me to the other team so I can like play Widow?
Can we start a game? Just to start the game and look.
Yeah. Or just like swap me to the other team so I can.
Yeah, just swap them to the other team, or we're starting at all. Because I think that like if we play Junk Widow, like the Widow could play wherever she wants, right? Assuming that they're not playing dive, she can play exactly wherever that she wants on the point, right? If they're playing dive, she kind of has to play behind shield. But if we play behind the shield in the mega while controlling the point, like we can test it. I just place a trap on our Orisa and their Winston can't do anything. Like that's all we literally need to do. And if they ever dive us hard, we could just.
Oh my fucking god.
That's very.
I understand, and you know what? Like I do understand. Like, it is sometimes better to go. What's it called? Like a more. What's the term? Reliable comp. I should have said it like at first though. I don't think I said it, and I think that's why like everybody kind of just went like
we had to
so
calm it down.
Hostile to it.
Wow.
And I honestly don't blame you. Because I'm a very like I don't know. I really do like experimenting with like a lot of comps and trying to figure out the value to try.
Well, yeah,
like,
that's the thing.
An actual scrim.
We can
and that's good,
test this stuff. Like if someone really thinks it's a good idea, there's no harm in testing it. That's what.
Of course not. But the biggest problem we need to worry about first and foremost is completely working on our coordination and our how we're supposed to play the game. That's our problem.
You're right. You're totally right. You are very like great.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I'm all for testing shit. I don't give a fuck. Like I come from a background of like you have to literally test everything to see if it works. You can't say no to something unless you try it, right? So unless it's like outright wrong in theory, like completely wrong. Like, but again, you still gotta try stuff, right?
Like I said, I'll be down to try it. I just didn't really understand the Zarya pick.
Yeah, and you know, actually, Sand, when you were talking about like putting the shield directly on the line of the point, that makes a lot more sense to have the Zarya in that case because you're actually using the shield and like going like since the shield is directly on the line, you have to be going in front of that shield occasionally. So having the Zarya to go forward and have that bubble makes sense in that
scenario,
event.
yes.
But
yeah.
D.Va's better at that point too.
Right, because
D.Va can make D.Va stops more damage than Zarya in every scenario.
But my thing, what I was trying to say was like you can put the shield down right on the crease so that you can still touch point while still have the shield to like cover the entirety of the door. I'm trying to see if there's a way to do it. So that way, if I'm playing junk in there and they take high ground, I can just spam over there. Or if they're coming over here on the left side, I can just spam this angle here and they're fucked. Or if they're over there, I can just spam this angle and they're fucked. Like, or if they're on the high ground, I can just spam them here. Or if they come around the cross, I just drop the trap on the point. Like, I want to get as much room for us as possible to contest point and for them to have the little amount of room to kill us.
Okay,
That's
no. You know what? I 100% wholeheartedly agree with you, and I think I was just trying to like make some comms that we could try out.
Perfect.
But
No,
now
that's
that
fine.
now that I'm kind of realizing it now, we should probably get like the mechanics and like general basis of the game down first when it comes to these maps. So
Like, yeah,
instead of,
right
like-
here.
Exactly. So if you were to put your shield right there, Are you
Wait a minute. So walk to the walk very slowly to the point where you get to contest point.
No. I could.
Okay,
still
so
see
you're
you.
gonna have
I
to
could
put the
still
shield.
see you.
Right, you're gonna have to put your shield up.
There?
Right.
So now I'm in a position. Can you move your shield a bit more to the left?
Yeah, one sec.
There we go.
Further?
Okay, so
Okay.
now I'm in this position where
Yeah.
you can't be playing on the stairs, and you can't be playing back left because I can see you. You have to be playing in the cone of the shield, or I can still shoot you. Not there either,
And-
because I can shoot you.
And
Yeah, you can.
this
shoot
is
by the
more
house
of a
back,
reason
okay.
now why Diva's better than Zarya in this case, because we can actually just play the point here. Like, we don't play on
It's
top of
funny.
point. Like if you move the barrier to cover the door, right? Then the Orisa can, I mean not the Orisa, the Diva can literally just play to contest the point, right? We can just have her on the point, like in
Yeah,
a corner
well,
somewhere.
we've ran Orisa Diva so many times, and that's what we do, and it works
Yeah,
so
but
well.
remember, in his comp, we're running double sniper. We don't just
Yeah.
can't fucking sit here.
And that's why we're like, I don't think double sniper is essentially the best pick. I think junk is better with Orisa than anything, because like now we're denying a certain area right with the Orisa, and if we play Diva, the Diva can contest point, and then if I place a trap on the Orisa will never easily die. Oh my bad.
But also remember when we were playing with Chewy and he was talking with Temple of Anubis, and he said that when you play double sniper, we really rely on our snipers to get picks.
Exactly.
Right.
Like when you play double sniper, you are relying on your snipers to get the. When you pick a sniper, you're relying on them to get a pick. Actually,
Right.
no, let me rephrase that. My bad. When you're playing Widow, you're relying on her to get like those really huge picks.
And if
Because
you're playing
Hanzo can
Hanzo
get them no
too-
matter what now. I don't know. I feel like Hanzo is like so easy. You could like.
Well, yeah, but like, but
Rely
the thing is,
together.
like, if they're running straight to point, like, if let's say we're like both on like high grounds, like you're right, and then I go over there, and I'm just playing here, and they rush onto point, we have to get a kill almost instantly before our other teammates die, right? Because otherwise, literally, they're just gonna have control of the entire point. We don't have anything for it, right? That's why I say, like, when Chewy was talking about it, like, I think Junk Widow is better. It hit me because like it makes more sense because now I can spam onto point more consistently, a ton of damage, and it denies an area.
No, I see that too now. I understand like you're thinking.
Yeah, so like, as much as I don't want to have to play Junkrat, believe me, we probably have to in a lot of the cases, just because I think Junk is like the most area denial hero in the
Wait,
game.
what? How did she do that? Oh my god! I
He's
thought
on
that
your,
was...
he's on your team.
My bad.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Here, one sec, real quick. Could somebody get on the point? Waffle, go on the other side. Okay, so you can't see me right now, right?
No, I can.
Like through the
No,
shield?
I can.
Through the shield?
Yeah,
Easily.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can. I
Yeah, I
am
can
through
hit you.
the shield. Okay.
Yeah, your head
so-
is.
So it needs to be like in the middle of this square, basically, right? You can't hit me now. Okay.
Yeah.
What if you? Can you hit me now?
No.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Wait,
I was
yes,
just wondering.
yes.
Wait,
Yes, you
yeah,
can.
Is
Leg.
the hitbox?
But like,
Yep. Yep. You
I
can
hear
hit me. Okay. So that's one thing as a Risa, just for
Stand
Lizard's sake.
sideways, bro.
You have to be. Oh yeah. Just you have to be careful if there's anybody behind you that you have to like deal with.
push it a
So
bit.
get a health pack. Get a health pack.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, though, like if that little like couple pixels of your foot is peeking out, I don't think a Widow is really gonna even notice it.
Oh,
You'd be surprised.
I mean,
You'd
like-
be surprised.
Yeah, but like
I
for the
looked at those little
short,
toes. Fuck yeah, dude.
Think of
Like,
it this way, right? When I play Tracer and I'm like 1v1ing a diva, she's DMing. It doesn't get her legs, so it's still free damage. Like, yeah, I kind of get it. Like, it's a bit like, oh, what's the point, right? But I mean, in a game like Overwatch, like as much damage as you do is like worth it, no matter what.
Yeah, literally anything. Like, even the tiniest little shot.
If you can get an ability off, if you can get them down from like 200 HP to 190 HP.
We need
That
to
puts them in a
consistently
position
contest.
where they're
Yeah,
like,
we have
oh,
to
yeah.
contest.
So that puts them in a position where they're like, okay, well, I'm kinda low.
I'll be right
I'm a
back.
little scared right now. I'm gonna play a little bit passively because I'm not full HP. Or maybe 170 HP, right? If I'm a Pharah and I'm 170 HP, I'm scared. Because, if I was 200 HP, I could survive 2 shots. I mean, 3 shots.
Waffle.
My bad. If I was 200 HP, I could survive 3 shots. If I'm 170, I can only survive 2. Which is really scary. Because I don't have that fuel.
Real quick, Waffle, can you go over there towards their spawn?
I think Waffle just said he was gonna be right back.
Oh, never mind.
But anyway, so the main thing that I would run here, like if we were trying to do something that's like tried and true, let's see. Probably we could run the standard, you know, Ryan Zarya here, or we could run like the
On
Orisa
offense,
Hog
you're
as
saying?
well. On defense.
If you want Ryan Zarya on defense, I feel we need to run Bridget.
Oh
we need
yeah,
to
for
run
sure.
Bridget and Diva too. Like
Because
we
we
can't.
got shit on by dive so many times like that, like it's really no.
Well, that's why Brigitte's in the game, right? Because people were like, "Oh fuck, well, I want to play dive, but I can't because Brigitte." On the other hand, if they're running dive, you could also run dive here as well with double sniper.
I agree. That's what I was gonna point out. That I think double sniper is not bad with dive tanks, especially. I just don't think it works with Zarya and
So
Ryan.
the same logic applies though. Like they could run goats into us.
And
We're
then
still
that's
relying
the
on the
Here's the
Don't
thing.
get
Here's the
completely
thing.
rolled.
Okay, so what's it called? Double sniper counters goats to an extent, and mostly the Hanzo. But what it would just be focusing on getting like a key target, and then can Nest rely on like your team because of the shield.
I don't really necessarily think so.
Really?
Honestly, I don't think double sniper counters goats. Because if you think of yeah, the range is good and everything, but like a lot of the time, all they need to do is just isolate one of the snipers.
That's true. That's very true.
They just need to isolate one because like both snipers doing damage, yeah, that's real. But if they have a diva isolate one of the two, depending on whatever the scenario needs it to be, whether it's like they need to kill the widow or they need to kill the Hanzo, regardless, they're still not gonna be able to do any like it's not gonna be a problem. I don't personally think it. Like you can tell me if you think otherwise, because like I want to hear everyone's perspective. So
Yeah, I do agree with you. Like I was not a Pivot as well. I just feel like if the snipers are confident in it, which trust me, I'm not saying I am. Like I need to play more Goats comp as a Widow to figure out if I am or not. Like I think it could be viable. Here's the name of the game though, Assault, right? So the attackers will always have the advantage no matter what. That's just the name of the game. So no matter what we do, like we are more likely to lose. Like as much as I hate to admit it, because I do hate losing, but like it's attack biased.
which is exactly why I kept on saying that I think Diva's better. And this is the logic that I take into most maps that right? I assume if we're playing defense, right? You can't always assume you're gonna full hold, right? If you're gonna always full hold, then you play Zarya, period. Like you're always just gonna play Zarya. But you cannot do that when, like, at least a lot of the hybrid maps, or at least a lot of, like, 2CP maps, the second point, usually after the first point, on every map, is dive-based. Or maps that, oh, nice, rip. GG.
Owl.
Diva and Winston automatically become so much better to play, right? So then, if we're running, like, anything, like a main tank, whatever, and then, like, whatever main tank that isn't Winston, and then we play, Zarya instead of Diva. Oh yeah, this is when you fucking shot me.
I don't know why. Oh yeah, right there. It was when I was you're like, can you shoot me up here? I was like, yep.
But so that's why I think like it's better to just run Diva permanently throughout most maps, because most maps, unless it's like King's Row or something that's like very low ground control, like Control Center or something, you almost always want to play Diva, because a lot of the times high ground is very prevalent on the second point on every map, or third as well, and Diva's just very good at denying like DPS characters and appealing for supports. And I think a lot of times every time we played Zarya and we kept and stuck with it, it cost us a lot more than it actually helped, because the grab is strong, but essentially if you really think about it, all she's good for is her grab, because her damage is great when she's high charged, but if she's on defense and getting dove, she's worthless.
You know what? You do have a point. I like I agree with you.
Yeah,
Like,
she's like really only good on attack and like some defense maps.
Okay, so
yeah.
do we want to talk about attacking first point first or defending second point?
Okay, let's talk
let's go
about
back to defending second point now.
Oh, defending second. Okay.
Because like if we're on the defense side, it's better to like just
Okay,
focus on
so we're running.
So defending second,
Hang on.
the main
One
thing
second.
I would do is
So
like
defending-
Orisa Hog, and then double sniper. I'm
On defense.
I
On
think.
yeah,
I
But this
think,
goes back to the
Ryan
point of what I was trying to make.
Diva can also work on.
But this is the
second
point I was
defense.
trying to make, right? So, like I said, like Diva's very good, especially on a point like this, because especially in defense, there's a lot of high ground control, right? Where they can stick a Widow, like essentially in those windows or the door up top here, right? Like you can stick a Widow here, and we have nothing to stop it unless we
Well-
have a Diva, right?
we would have another Widow as well who could take that duel.
But then, okay, so then at that point, we're relying on our Widow to kill them, right? And
But
if we lose a
some-
single person, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose the point most likely.
But like, the thing
Yes,
is though, you
but-
kind of have to rely on your Widow to do
Like
that
that's the problem.
sometimes, because
Picking-
otherwise...
when you do Widow, okay, think of it as in Ilios runes, right? You're gonna go Widow. We need to go Widow. We need to rely on our Widow to win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's like in
when you
one
pick
situation where it's really, really hard for anyone else to get to the Widow. In these maps, we have a choice to contest the Widow.
Exactly. We have the choice of playing Diva, or we can take the further extent and not even play out Reinhardt, and we
It's
just play
easier
Winston
for us
instead.
to get them off of Widow and give our Widow an advantage than to just try to 1v1 Widow.
All our Widow needs to do is sit back here, right? Or sit over here, right? They could just do that, or they can like play like weird line of sights like here, or like anything random, right? Or go for flanks or something. But if we have a Diva, it's like I said before, it reduces the chances of our Widow losing their duel. And
It
if our
doesn't even
Widow,
have to be the Diva. I'm just saying in general, like, when the Widow has to worry, I mean, Sam complains about it all the time. When a Widow has to worry about more than the other Widow, it becomes really hard to play Widow.
it's really annoying. Unless you're like a god, it doesn't. It's gonna be normal to people that are like not professional Widowmakers. It's gonna be hard to deal with more than one thing. Like when you have the Diva on your ass, when you have like any DPS on your ass, like they have double sniper on one Widow, it's very, very, very hard to play Widow at that point, right? And Widow's very
You're right.
strong. It's just that's why I see like we don't have to play Winston, but we can play Diva. I think Diva is a very good choice, especially for this part of the map, right? Even though I think Zarya Grab is very good here, I just think
Problem
that
with Zarya grab, like on defense, is that you blow the Zarya grab, right? That's fine. You win the fight. Most Zens don't trans grab, so the next fight that comes up, they'll definitely have a Zen ult, and you won't have anything.
And that's the point also, that if we're running a Zarya, we're almost locked into either having a Hanzo, a Junkrat, or a Pharah. We can't just play the comp, unless we're playing Goats, right? But we're not going to be playing Goats on defense for this map, for this part of the map, particularly because there's, like, they can literally just switch Widow Pharah and we're fucked. Like, or like Junk Pharah, we're fucked. Like, we can't do anything about it. Because we have nothing to contest either of them, right?
You're right.
So,
You're right.
So what I think is the best course of action is either just playing like, I don't know, like we could play double sniper, but if we're playing Zarya, we have to play home. Like we have to, or Pharah, right? Because what's the point of a grab if they can just they can transfer free now. They can literally use every single trans they want on their grab unless we have a Hanzo, period, right? And then they just don't have to trans. And then like what Audie said, they can hold their trans for the next fight and almost guarantee the fight for themselves the next fight. You know, presuming we don't have anything else, right? So I don't really see the point of playing a Zarya unless we're willing to give up that extra spot. So if we're not,
yeah, I understand.
yeah. So like,
Okay, now I just want to ask about main tank, because if we've been running Orisa on first point, like, do we want to keep the Orisa, or do we want to like keep her until we've used her ult and then switch to a Rein?
I think we need to just
Orisa's
swap
ulti-
immediately.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Swap immediately is my opinion.
Mhm.
Why do you think otherwise? You want me to?
Is
I
the
think- I
ult-
think it just
well,
depends.
okay.
I honestly think it just like we can always we can always plan for something, right? But
Yeah,
this is going back onto what I said because now I'm just realizing this. So no matter what, because if they're attacking, right? They can figure out like what exactly they have the advantage no matter what.
yeah.
They will have
And that's
the advantage
why
no matter
I
what.
personally, honestly think that probably the best way to deal with it. So like, okay. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions, right? So if I run Orisa on defense on second point, what are your DPS switching to?
We could. You know what? That depends on what they play, honestly.
So
Throw
running
any scenario.
Orisa Diva, they're playing Widowmaker and they're playing Junkrat, or they're playing Widowmaker and let me take a quick look. Oh, never mind.
Okay, and our tanks are Orisa and Diva.
Yeah, on defense.
I would go Widow because I know Diva can provide peel for me, and
you
I
play
honestly
like
wouldn't
you,
know what the
you probably play Pharah. I would say Pharah, right?
fair in that
Because-
situation.
Yeah, because like if you're playing Orisa on the point, right, and you put your shield like right here if you can, Bulbasaur, like right over here, like you're covering the point, right?
Yeah.
But you're not covering the flank. You're not covering like the right or the left side flank or the Pharah
top
playing in the
or the
sky.
high ground at all.
Like you're
But-
not doing anything with that.
Yeah, but like if they play what's it called? If they have Widow and like she can consistently headshot me, then it's a 5v6.
Okay, but you're assuming that your Widow's gonna win every day, right? You can't.
No.
assume that-
If
Or what are
we
you
have
saying?
Diva,
Uh-huh.
then Diva can push pressure onto the Widow as well,
Right, which
along
means
with myself.
which means a Pharah can do much more work than what if a Diva would focus down the Pharah too. So that means the Pharah has a lot more work. Now you have to split it between, do I take the Widow off the high ground on the left side, or do I take the Pharah off in the sky or nearby? Which one do I deal with? Because, the Pharah could just be playing in a position, like up in like the skybox or in the towers to spam down people without the Widow being able to shoot at her, right? And if the Widow's spending all her time trying to kill the Pharah, that means the other Widow can kill their Widow. So it's
Okay,
just like
I see
a
what you
lot
mean.
of pressure, right? So I just don't think Orisa's good because now the shield doesn't really
Yeah,
protect
it's
you
a
from the high grounds.
stationary shield that has no flexibility really.
Now, if you ask me, if you play Reinhardt and Diva, right, or Reinhardt and Zarya,
Mhm.
they could just play dive into it. Otherwise, they play Rein, Zarya, and Bridget, right? And then that way you just play Junk Pharah, right? And then you play against or Widow or Pharah Widow. Like Pharah Widow just counters a shit ton of tank comps, right? That's how I see it. I don't know if you see the same way.
My bad. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying like replace Widow with Pharah and then go somebody else.
Oh no.
Okay,
You want me
okay.
to restate it? You want me to restate
No.
it?
I understand now. I understand like 100%. Yes,
Okay.
I do feel like that's
Oh.
right.
Okay.
That's fine.
So okay, now that we're on the same,
we
page
were on
there,
the same
right?
page. We were on the same page. I just didn't like understand.
Right. That was my bad too. I guess
No,
I could
no,
have
no,
explained
it was
it better. So anyway, they go Pharah Widow. They counter Orisa essentially, in my opinion. They counter that comp, right? And the Diva has to be split between the two, right?
Mm.
So, my personal opinion, and it's probably gonna be wrong too, because there's an easy way to counter it just from looking at it for myself, is playing Winston Diva for this point, right? And then we play, like, the way they can counter that is if they play Goats. They instantly counter Winston Diva if they play Goats because they have Bridget, right?
Mhm.
So now, the best way about this, in my opinion, is if we play Junk and we could play Junk Widow or we can play Junk Pharah, right? On defense with the two dive tanks. I know this sounds very
Junk
weird. in
Pharah
terms
would
of
be
synergy.
better if they play goats.
Right. So we play Junk Pharah with the two dive tanks, right? Because
Oh,
that
we
way
keep
now
the dive tanks, though.
the reason for that is so we can play
Because
the
we control high ground.
well. So what we'll do is that if they're gonna be playing, if they don't play Goats first point, right? We could swap Winston Diva, right? And then that means they have to swap immediately too, right? So that means we're controlling based off of swaps. We're gonna take a fight from them if they don't swap immediately to Goats. In my opinion, I think if we have both dive tanks, we're just gonna be sitting like up here, right? The Winston could be like up here, and so can the Diva, or the Diva could be anywhere essentially, right? And then like once they walk through the door, if they're not playing Goats, they just drop onto them, and then they use their movement abilities to get out, or they can just commit really hard into like a Zenyatta thing, right? So that means we
Okay,
can
so
control
you're
off one
saying-
fight.
You're saying we as soon as we lose first point, main tank switches to Winston.
Yes.
We go dive. Okay.
For now, right? But then if they swap, if they're like, okay, and so like every fight that they take where they don't swap to a Bridget or a Bridget comp, that's more time for us to like win. They're giving us free time essentially, right? But then when they switch to Goats, that's the problem we're gonna have, right? Either we take that, like we play Winston and Diva and we win that very first fight, and then once they're respawning, we swap back, or we can just stay doing that, right? But it gives
Okay,
us the
hang
most
on, hang on.
mobility, and it gives us the most stall.
So
comp
think about
potential,
this
right?
too. If that's our plan, is to like run it until they switch to Bridget. After every fight, if we just kind of like back up, maybe like right here or so, or maybe a little bit closer to spawn or whatever, The spawn door is literally right here.
But that's wait, you're saying as dive tanks to back up here?
No. If they switch, that way we can be ready to switch because we can hold tab, see what they're playing, and as soon as they switch, that means that they're still in spawn. So that way we just switch and then we come out.
But the problem with that is that we're gonna be giving up ult charge once they switch, but they can easily just switch back. And then like they're still gonna have the advantage. Doesn't matter what ults we have, they're playing goats, they have more of an advantage than we do. Because we're gonna be playing dive tanks regardless, right? And if they swap to goats on offense, it's better than us switching to like something like that to counter that on defense. It's much better. Because no matter what, they can swap their comp when they want, but not us. So no matter what, we have to stay this comp. Because if we go back to try to switch, they could just switch right back. And we lost all our ult charge towards our Primal and D.Va Bomb. And those are our best ults, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, like a dive composition, like you need the ults to do well.
The tank ults. The tank ults.
Yeah, exactly. You need the tank ults to do well in a dive situation against a goats comp.
And it's not even that. It's the particular situation that we're in right now. It's a 2 CP last point. The tank ultimates are literally game breaking for that, right? It's not maybe well, Shatter obviously is insane, but I'm talking about like Primal can literally stall us to the point where we get everybody else back on point. If we get a pick in any point of time, we can turn the fight back, right? It's the same thing with like a D.Va Bomb. If we focus, like what they're gonna do is they're probably gonna like shield it, right? But if we have something that can knock them out of the way while we're stalling with a D.Va Bomb, like we can get a kill like one or two people, right? Like tank ults are good to stall with, right? And if we're running like Junk Pharah, those are a lot of characters, a lot of spam, right? And if we're like, let's say we're down in a fight where we're trying to just stall second, we can obviously like swap Tracer or whatever or something, you know, try to like easily get one quick kill, right? If we get one kill in the middle of a stall, we have a chance of turning it back. Whereas if we were playing like those heavy tanks, that means we'd have to swap to the dive tanks and we won't have any ult charge. So if we stuck with it, it'd probably be better than if it is to swap to it after we've lost, you know, one or two people, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it make sense to everybody? Do you think it like...
Sorry, dude, I was busy farmed. What did you say?
Yeah, no, I think we're really nailing down the comps that will work best for us and the comps that will work best like against the most comps, the most enemy comps. So I think everything that we've said so far for defense is I think really beneficial.
What do you think, Phantom?
No, I like it as well. Because like I don't know what you guys play, right? So
I play
like,
everything.
It's been like 2 days. So like I'm just trying to figure out like what you guys are comfortable with and what you guys aren't, and like trying to figure out like how like your play style as well. And now like after all this, like I do understand like it's not okay, let me rephrase that. I have a great understanding on what you guys like do want to do and how you guys want to do it. And with that, like with the comps that you're saying and the play styles that we're talking about, I do feel as if you're gonna like it does enable us like as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another thing, what is your like DPI? Because you are like really twitchy.
It's just my style of aim, bro.
Oh, okay. Do you play for wrist?
I play like a hybrid of both.
Okay.
Like it's with Tracer in particular, I play with wrist. But what I do is I do 1400 by 2.5 in game. What do you do?
1600 with 2.2.
Yeah,
Holy
I
fuck,
totally
yours is way
play
more
with
than
my
mine.
wrist.
Yeah, I just use my arm bow. Like I'm not my arm. My bad. I just what's it called? Fucking arm aim.
So do you really think the idea that is retarded, a better idea in that sense?
We're talking about like
Gooder.
the comp still, right?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like playing Winston
yeah,
D.Va, yeah.
I like it.
And then for
Okay.
first point, we could do like Orisa D.Va, and then we play Junk Pharah. Oh, not Junk Pharah. Junk Widow, and then we swap you to Pharah. And if we decide to like, so I guess like the one thing we have to talk about more is just like on defense for second. Would it be better to just like run Junk Pharah or Junk Widow or Pharah Widow, or if they're running Widow, I play Genji.
I mean,
you
it
play
depends on their team comp, because
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's like we have to discuss that too, because if
We'll have
let's
to
say
discuss it in game. Honestly,
Right.
We'll have to discuss in game. No matter how much
Okay.
you prepare for it, it's an in-game thing. That's how I like think about it. To be perfectly honest.
so, all right. I guess we got defense covered, right?
Now we can go like into
So
attack.
we're on defense. We're just doing like dive with some DPS that will have to be decided.
So our options essentially are goats or
Goats, Resident Sleeper comp, or
Real quick, I just want to say, like, about Orisa in general, I think, like, Lizard and I have had some of the most difficult time with Orisa, but that's, I think, just because of we have never known the best positioning for Orisa, and Orisa's all about positioning. So, I think, so I do want to, like, give that disclaimer that both Lizard and I haven't had great experiences in team situations with Orisa, but I also want to say that I think if, as we're talking through this, like, knowing these compositions will be helpful for us. Knowing this positioning will be helpful for both of us moving forward. And I think will make our Orisa gameplay better. Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think like I think we need to talk about it more. I guess like once we get more comfortable in practicing the comps, we can talk more about like where we should go like positionally. I guess at least each and every one of us, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to do.
Okay, now we can go back to talking about attack comp.
So
Yeah, goats
Just
and
run
dive.
the whole map.
Ultra dive, right? But I don't think running full dive is the best. I don't think Genji's very strong.
I
sometimes.
I
don't
think
know.
you would really want to
like Widow.
do.
She's strong
Yeah,
with
you'd
Nano
want to
Blade.
do dive
love
with a
Genji
Widow.
to death, but man, I don't think Genji's that strong at all.
Yeah, we would have to like be able to protect an Ana and have Nano Blade to make our Genji work.
Either that,
Especially
or
with
they're just
armor.
running or they're running something that's like Genji is strong against. Even if it's 2 people, if you can guarantee the Dragon Blade on those 2 people, that leaves what's it called, a 5v6 situation because they're probably gonna get the res off.
Yeah, so you're right. I think Genji's probably very good against double sniper, but like, I think like double sniper is very hard to play against with Genji because a lot of the time when they're running double sniper, I think smarter teams do play dive tanks, and then when I commit hard to the snipers, they commit back, and then like I'm kind of fucked. So I don't know. Like it's very. Genji's very situational pick from, so I don't think that that's an option that we can have unless it's very specific, right? But most of the time, I think offense, Widow is very strong on this map. And I mean, I think if we're gonna commit to playing dive tanks, then we're probably gonna have to run Tracer.
Oh, for sure.
So, what would you rather do? Because I'm okay with either. Like, I'd rather do. Actually, I don't have really a preference of either. I can play Widow or Tracer regardless of the scenario.
I can also play Widow or Tracer. I think it just depends on who's better on the hero. And like,
How are we gonna figure that out?
I don't know. What do you want? Which one do you want to do?
Fucking what?
What do you want? I don't know.
I think it's okay. It's going to come down to like their defense in the end, because they're not going to be able to switch as easily as we will. So if we just see what they're running and we counter it, it'll be a lot easier to determine which one we should choose off the bat.
Right. I think the thing that we have to like, I guess something that we can go based off of. I think it's because since I'm more familiar with the team because I've been playing with them for quite some time.
Understandable.
Maybe I should play Tracer.
Okay.
And then you play Widow because like Widow doesn't really necessarily.
Exactly. Like you don't like you can. It's just like you. It's literally just you.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to Widow. What the fuck can you actually? Who Audi? Why can you do that, Symmetra? Why can you stack turrets?
That's fucking.
Oh,
horrible.
yeah.
It's a pile of
That's
garbage.
a huge bug.
Dude, have you
Wait,
seen
can
the
you not?
turrets getting stuck in walls too?
Yeah, they get stuck in walls too on
Dude,
Hollywood. in
it's
particular.
annoying as fuck. Dude, I saw it on Junkertown.
Oh, probably. They
And
can
like,
probably do
and
that
you
anyway.
can't break them.
When you have a
Yeah, no, you can't break it.
Don't use it for shit.
Yeah.
Feels bad.
So we're gonna do dive then, I would assume, right? And so
Yeah,
how
we
are
can
we
do
gonna?
that.
I mean,
Okay.
it depends on their team comp, but yeah, I think dive maybe to start and then just go goats if it doesn't work.
So let's go this way. Like Bulbasaur, I probably need you to come, and then I need all of you essentially to come here to our first spawn attack. So what we probably need to do is we need to make sure our tanks don't take damage entry, like from the entry, right? Because I think that they're probably going to be running like junk or something spammy. So we need to figure out a way.
Okay, well, okay, so
Question.
that's
One second.
Yeah. What's up?
Are
Bobby?
we including Symmetra in this or no?
Shut the fuck up.
No, it's a serious fucking question, dude.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, some teams don't like.
all right.
playing
So
Symmetra.
okay, Sam,
Some
come here.
teams will like say, "Oh no, fuck you." She's
Going
non-comp.
going
We're
to
not
what you
spamming
were
her."
saying with not taking any damage, I feel like we do this a lot, and a lot of teams do this. Is they come around this corner, even though a lot of teams play right there. Where if we just come around right here, I've literally never seen a team play right there.
Where?
Right there. So if we just come around this corner, then they can't really
in
spam
that-
us
in
without
that
peeking
doorway?
out.
Yeah.
So we just come this way and we don't take any damage.
They
Only
don't come
damage?
here because they don't come here because what's it called? Like their left side is way more. It's a safer position.
And they can
Yeah.
see liking.
So,
So,
honestly,
would it be
yeah,
better
I
just
think
to go
that's
this
the better way to go is going around this right side because that's the number one thing Lizard has complained about is not knowing how to not take chip damage, and I think if we approach from this right
No,
side,
you got stuck.
Oh my god, lol.
yeah, I think if we
you
go
got-
around this right side here, and the Lizard can keep this corner that I'm at,
we
like,
just
and
walk in through here?
yeah, and poke around here, and yeah, he can jump through here.
There's kind of an
and,
issue
like,
with this.
Get in the door.
There's kind of an issue though.
What's the issue?
Junkrat could just move over to this side while we're coming through here, and then
That's
like
true.
we get spammed through this doorway, and now he has no way of getting right.
That's
unless we-
true, but
we
that's
debate-
also a very situational thing, like everything. Like, if they're not running a
We
Junkrat,
literally just spoke about playing Junkrat though. I think that like Junkrat is a very like if people don't pick him, I think that they're kind of wrong, because I think Junkrat in most cases like is pretty strong.
Well, okay, but which DPS are we playing on attack then?
Probably Widow's Tracer.
Okay,
probably.
so if we have
Or
a
Widow
widow, if we have a widow and the Junkrat moves over to that left side alone, Widow should be like forcing him out, forcing him back this direction. Like
Junkrat, like right where I'm standing?
Wait,
yeah,
so
if you're saying Junkrat's gonna be here, right? If
No,
Junkrat has
wait,
come
wait,
around
wait.
the side and
what I'm saying is this, right? So we move in through this room, right? The Junkrat's gonna be probably over here with the team, right? Spamming in this direction through that doorway. He can just move over across here and spam into the doorway there.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right. And then like, yeah, our best option is to go up the stairs, but at the same time he just backs up with his shield or
So
whatever.
I
and
think
goes
that
way.
comes down to how fast we do it. Because if the Junkrat has been standing here and is throwing his grenades, and we jump through the door over there, they don't have as much time to move back to the point as we do to get through that room and into the next room. We just
So
have
remember,
to...
we don't get flank on this map.
Widow what?
The Widow flank isn't real to me. Like, I don't think it's a real thing.
Really? Right here.
It's real as fuck.
Are we talking about like the spawn flank?
This one right here.
Yeah, I don't think that this is real. I don't think that that's a thing.
What do you mean?
Like, I just don't think that like it's a thing that people will try to do and not be prepared for. Like, I think that's the whole reason why people don't do it.
I do
Because
it
the
all
whole
the time.
but I'm talking about like an actual like competitive play.
Wait, which... I'm not sure where you're talking
Okay,
about.
okay, so over here, come on, down here.
Back left, like where the
Like
river is.
he can flank
Oh,
from
okay,
there. Like,
you're
the
talking
treasure
about the
flank.
flank. Okay, I got it. Okay.
Yeah. So like, I don't think it's
they're
real.
their Widow jumping over there and then coming up here. You think in a team situation, not as many Widows will take this flank?
Oh,
I
you're
don't
saying?
think not. Okay, yes, it's very true. Not many widows will take this thing. However, I feel as if it's because it doesn't cross their mind, right? Not a lot of widows thought about the flank to the right side of Dorado until Sheerford did it, and look how many people do it now. Not a lot of widows also did that flank behind it in Watchpoint Gibraltar. But it works. It's just like he was just literally styling them. And he didn't care.
and that's
Okay.
why
Are we talking from a defensive perspective right now?
I'm talking from an offensive. We're on offense.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
so we
you're talking
cannot-
about you or Phantom flanking.
Right, and I don't think that that's a thing because a lot of the times people that think about how their team comp should work on certain maps, I'm telling you, they're gonna come to the conclusion that D.Va is a better pick than every other off tank, just because of the high ground control here. If they don't, then yeah, the Widow pick is fine to flank. It's 100% okay to do that, but the chances are they're gonna not be running Zarya. At least if I'm gonna assume that the teams we're playing against are smart and understand like how the game works, D.Va's a better pick in almost every scenario where you can pick Zarya as well. So I think that if we do that kind of a flank and you're playing up here, yeah, the D.Va has to come back, but there's nothing that we're playing up front that the D.Va is like needing to stop. You know what I mean? Like if I'm playing Tracer, there's nothing. Like it doesn't matter if the D.Va's essentially on me if I'm on like, because I'm gonna probably kill him regardless. Right? Unless he's getting pocketed.
So you're saying, okay, so if I get it entirely correctly, you're saying that we shouldn't have our Widow flank because we have nobody doing frontline damage, and if they're running a D.Va, which they probably will be, then the D.Va can just go take care of the Widow by herself without any problem. That's what you're saying?
Yes, but the frontline thing is not really what I was trying to say either.
Don't think it's a flank can take more than once. Let's just say that.
Well, that's 100% true. You can't.
You can maybe take it at the start of a map, but after that, it's done.
Right.
Like literally is pointless, right? So
I think it's worth it to try maybe like I said once, and that's it.
yeah. Like depending on the team, like if it's like a team we've never played against, whatever, yeah, do it. But I just don't think
that we're running Tracer and. If we're running dive, we're running Tracer Widow.
Or I swap to Pharah and he plays Widow, and then we'll just do that. Right? We'll do Pharah Widow.
Okay.
But if they're playing Zarya, you 100% can do the flank if you want.
Right.
If we don't have that.
Okay, but so back to how we enter. So that's an option to have the Widow flank and everybody else go in through this door. Right.
I just don't think that it's like a good reason to go in here. If they're playing Junkrat, we don't go through here, in my opinion. Like
okay.
I think like,
what do you think we do? Do we take the fight straight at them? 'Cause I think that's the only other option besides. I don't think you want to go through this path because this is way too much open space.
Maybe what we need to do.
You don't want to go through the left because it's open space.
No, it's too much open space, and we don't have as many shield abilities.
Yeah,
on
but
dive.
If we go into a closed space with Junkrat, that's worse.
That's what I'm saying. Like going into this left room is the reason why I don't think it's a good idea.
Like you can go left and just not go in the room, just go straight to the point. Ideally, if we're playing dive, we want to get to the point as fast as possible.
So maybe what we could do is, so that we guys don't take any like as much like chip damage, right? You guys play around the corner how we should be, and then without any sort of stopping, I need to go to point. Maybe I try to contest point, maybe pull someone back or whatever, right? Somebody.
You can do tracer flanks on the left and pull them back to give us a little more space. By the choke, right?
That's something that we can do, right? But I do not think that we should push into like a corridor or anything like that if they're running Junkrat in any capacity.
Yeah, you don't. You want to go straight to the point.
Yeah, like we kind of have to like just play around as many walls as possible because that's the issue that that Lizard and Waffle have, where they just take so much damage coming in before anything, right? So we need to figure out if we're gonna be going that way, then we cannot go through this right side. Like we can't come from here.
Right. That's true.
Because like we'll literally be doing this, and we're taking more fire. If we come from the left side,
I don't know. Like if you go from the other side, like all the way walking up, we'll take damage too from left.
Well,
but
okay,
I just think it's better to walk left into the left side of the point.
Okay, so right here, right? Come around this corner, you're getting spammed too.
Yeah, but okay, that's if so. We were discussing on defense, where we aren't going to be holding right here. We're actually going to be holding further back. So there are two different options there. So if they are holding all the way up here, I think it's a much worse option to approach from this left side than it is from the right side. If they're holding back, then it's definitely viable to approach from the left side and go through.
What side we want to go? If we want to like take this left side past the choke, you probably want to come from the right side, so you can get the Junkrat out of the way if he's sitting there, right?
Well, think about it like this too. So if we come from the left side, we're gonna be running like Zen Mercy, right? So if we come from this way, granted, like, actually, I don't know. It doesn't even really matter if we have a Zen or not. But like, if we don't want to take poke damage, just to get to the choke, we have to like use some abilities, like Defense Matrix or whatever, just so that way we don't take damage before we get there. If we go, and then we have to like take the fight without DM or whatever. If we come on the right side and then as soon as we get here, we have our abilities and we can fight them if we need to.
Well, we should probably blow bubbles and DM just to get across without getting wrecked, and then wait for the cooldowns to come up.
Right, well that's another thing too. Like we have to get past these guys no matter what. So if we come on the left side, fuck. If we go on the left side, then we're gonna be using all of our abilities just to get to them, and then we don't have any abilities to get past them.
Oh, we're not going past them. We're going around them.
Well, I know, but still.
It wastes a lot of time. Goats tried doing that on Volskaya once, it didn't work out.
Going on the right side?
Left side, my bad.
Left side? Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying, like, we shouldn't go that way.
Exactly. So, like, if we go right side and we go up top too, it wastes time, but not as much as the left side. That's why a lot of people don't do it. Like, if you know you're gonna be able to get it off, then yeah, you do it. But, like, it's not... It's once. It's just like how people like to do it on,
Hey, wait, are you talking about going through that left room, or...?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to go in the room at all.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Just because of a Junkrat possibility.
Well, okay, so if there isn't a Junkrat, obviously that left room is definitely a viable option. But we're operating on the assumption that they will be running a Junkrat right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think if they're running a Junkrat and they're not holding right here,
If they're playing back there,
we want to go around and into this room and up the stairs.
Okay.
we could try and do that. If they're playing back here though, like,
I mean,
okay,
it'll
so-
be bad, but if they're playing back there, Lizard just drops his bubble and we go through.
but we all can't hesitate. We all have to go. Like,
Yeah,
instead.
no, it has to be instant.
Yeah, and on top
Like,
of
I don't
that,
understand. If they're playing right here, why are we running even closer? Why don't we just go this side, left side?
where are you, Audie?
That's we're talking about if they have a Junkrat.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
it-
Going in there is worse for us than going here.
I see his point.
So, but
Here's the thing that's... Hold up.
Okay.
Here's the thing that's viable. If we're going to go this side, we're kind of screwed. If we're going right side, we're also kind of screwed. Because of close quarters in Junkrat.
Mm-hmm.
The only viable way is if we go top right. However, we're still screwed because that's even smaller.
That's what I'm saying.
In
Like,
a situation when we're playing Junkrat, we should be swapping to Lucio.
That's what I was
Because-
gonna point out, because I think Lucio in most cases here, I think it kind of solves the issue, because like if we have a Lucio, it almost solves the entire problem of like going through this room here. Because like if we can get through here fast enough, then it almost doesn't matter that they have a Junkrat. But the problem that we do have is, once they realize that we speeded through there, we have to get through that door right over there where I'm shooting at faster than they can set up their Junkrat to shoot in there. You get me? Yep. So we have to try to like see how fast we can do that. We can try it, but I'm not really sure. I think that's like
We'll have to try it. Like, talking about it is also like well and good, but like in the end, we have to try all these things.
hey, so if we're playing dive, are we running like
If we're playing dive, we're
support
playing
Lucio, Zen, or Lucio Mercy?
Lucio Mercy, because Taylor can really like she can't really play Lucio. Or
Yeah, I
Zen.
think. Yeah. I've seen her play
I think it
Lucio
also
before.
comes
Wait,
down
she only
to
plays Mercy?
No, she plays.
She plays
mainly
Mercy,
Lucio.
Moira, and Anna, but not Lucio or Zenyatta.
Okay, that's fine.
yeah. So I think whether we play a Lucio or a Zen will come down to whether or not they have a Junkrat.
Yeah,
Or if we
basically.
feel we need speed, right?
If we
Yeah.
need with Junkrat, we need speed because this is like a close quarters map. Like when it comes to pushing.
So, okay, so we're basically only running the Lucio for the Junkrat, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
So should we start with Zen, or no?
We should probably start with Zen. I would.
Because like
I
yeah,
would
because
think.
like I think Zen is fine. Swapping to Lucio is fine. I don't think swapping from Lucio to Zen would ever happen. If we're keeping a Lucio, we may as well keep the Lucio.
Yeah, that's not the biggest of deals.
Right. I would much rather have to swap swap off Zen once than have to be like swap off Lucio to Zenyatta, right? I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
I'd
I know
rather-
what you mean.
I'd rather swap one way than the other. So I don't know. So
Yeah, no, I think that works. So now let's get to the position where they are here holding or on point or even up here wherever they decide to hold, like, and we are set up on the opposite side.
So if I'm playing Tracer and they're holed up in the Mega, right? It all depends on whether or not how far they're set up. Because if they're set up onto the point, it gives us more of a chance to try to do something with it, with a Widow, right? Because the Widow can take, like, this is one thing you have to like look out for, Phantom, where like if they're playing Orisa right here, right, contesting the point, the shield doesn't cover the entirety of the door, right?
Yeah.
So if you can find an angle, like Bumblesir, can you do me a favor to Orisa real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So like depending on how far the shield is placed up, you can take angles. Like if they're playing really close to Orisa behind the barrier, there's an angle right here you can take, like right up here. You see me?
Yep.
So like you can take that angle right here, or if they're like played really close inward, then
Stop poking me, I'm trying to see.
no feeder, you fucking.
Audie, you boy.
He looked at me funny.
This is the reason why Taylor left. God damn it. So,
Whatever.
yeah, actually. yeah, actually.
Okay. Very
So-
sincere.
So like if you're covering the entirety of the doorway, right? Widow's not necessarily that great, but then if we're spamming the shield or like if we're just taking positioning at this point, we can have one of our tanks like Lizard or whether it be Waffle play like either this corner or play this corner over here and contest the point so that they are forced to contest the point, right? Now you moved up. Now the Widow
Yep.
can have line of sight on something, right? And then the Tracer, me, I'm gonna be probably playing in the back, all the way up top. I'm gonna play all the way around the stairs or on the back to like poke around from behind.
Yeah,
that
basically
way-
on attack, we want somebody on the point at all times to force them to be on the point.
And that's why we have to have the tanks do it, or myself at least, if I'm playing Tracer, because if we can't have both on the point at the same time. We cannot do that. We have to have one. Because if we have a Winston controlling the point here, the D.Va can sit on the high ground, wait for the Winston has to leap out, then Waffle drops back down, right? And we just rotate them over and over again until we're given an opportunity to take the fight with them, right? And this is all hypothetical that they like push in or make a mistake, right? But that gives me and Phantom the room to work with at least something. Because if I'm poking from behind, the Orisa can't really just turn the shield around, because then Phantom just destroys them, right? And then it gives me
Yeah.
room to work with. And chances are they're not gonna be running Bridget. Oh fuck, my bad. I'm
Good job, Pete.
fuck you, Feeder. Anyway,
One copy was hog again.
it could just kill me, please. So essentially, we need to force their tank to touch point. If they don't, they lose. So we need to just.
No, he tried looking me and I heard him.
Okay. So, I think do we have an idea as to how we're supposed to play it? Like,
Yeah,
I think like
I think-
For the most part.
Yeah, I think the number one thing that Lizard would probably ask is once we've gone through the flank and everything, and like he's poking around this corner, like who is, so we're rotating him and Waffle onto the point then?
yeah, like he can
So
play
it's,
like
it's
here,
back and forth.
right?
okay.
Yeah, so like it'll be like until he gets weak enough or whatever, or anything like that. Yeah, like up to the
and
point
then
where he gets
and
weak.
then he jumps out like back this way.
Yeah, he
and
could be
then
this
come
way,
back.
up top, doesn't matter, right? And then Waffle drops down, right?
Right,
and
and
then-
then you're gonna be like you're gonna run over here, right? And then
Well-
you're gonna be trying to flank a bit.
No, I'm gonna be around the stairs. I'm gonna go around the stairs, around the back.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Because
So,
they're gonna be playing Mega, so I'm gonna
Got
be like
it.
right there.
so we've pushed them back. They're trying to hold point, and Waffle and Lizard are in this corner with probably both Audie and Kilvi,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, and then Phantom on Widow is either hopping up here or staying behind, or over there, yeah. And then you're flanking around the right side, right?
Or over that side over there on the window,
Right.
because the Orisa shield's gonna be like up here, and it's gonna have a gap.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna be on the flank, and then hopefully we can
and-
get a pick and we pinch
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Potentially we've either gotten a pick on our way in, or we got a pick like right at the start when Lizard and Waffle are rotating between standing on the point. Yeah. Okay. I think that does it for first point, right?
Oh, Lizard's gonna have a fun time watching this.
Yeah.
It's like fucking 3 hours long, dude. Whatever, dude. You should have
So
been
let's
here.
move on to second point already.
Yeah,
Let's move on to
I'm
second.
gonna go switch back to I don't know. What would we keep the dive? And
Personally, I say yes, but it's up for debate, obviously.
It just really depends what they're running.
yeah, yeah. So
If
I mean, I
they're-
think both first point and second point, it'll be either dive or goats.
Probably, and it may not even be the worst idea to just play goats, just like to shove it in them, but they could come up with the same idea.
Whoa, I'm rubber banding.
Oh damn. We could literally just shove it in them.
Okay, there we go.
As goats. You know, we play together, we push in. The only problem we'll have is if they're playing like, I guess like the theory that I had before, which was like the dive tanks, maybe.
Right.
But like at that point, if they're playing that, we 150%, if we're playing goats, we have to kill their Winston and their D.Va. We have to make sure they never get any ult charge for them. If they're deciding to do the same thing. If they're playing Ryan and Zarya, and we're playing goats, and they're not playing Bridget, they're fucked. They're probably just gonna lose. And if they're playing like Orisa, then they lose. Like, I think that like goats is good against everything, except for the dive idea, in my opinion. But it's also good against them at the same time. It's just weird. Because like it in theory it counters, but at the same time the theory of what the tanks are supposed to do is to just get their ult charge as fast as possible and literally just use it to stall points. It does not matter whether or not we wipe teams or not. All we need to do is literally stall for as long as possible, because that's 2CP's defense points. That's the whole thing that they're trying to do. We need to stall as long as possible, not team wipe. I mean, team wipe obviously would be great, but you really cannot consistently do that. You can't get a grab every single fight. So I think.
Oh, speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, I can, but you know.
No, you can't. Screw up.
Shut up, bitch. This is the map that I gotta fucking grab in 20.
Bro, I have Golden Zarya weapon. I'm the man.
So do I, bitch. Anyway, so
So yeah, so whatever comp we were running at the end of the first point, we keep going into the second point, and we react to whatever they switch to.
Right, exactly. And that's kind of how we have to try to play it. And I think that the only thing we can really swap to, unless they're running Pharah Junk, if they're running those heroes, then we kind of can't play goats. And at that point, we could probably play double sniper and get away with it. You can probably play dive tanks with double sniper. Because if they're playing like, on attack. Because normally, what'll happen is, the Hanzo can play how he wants, and then the Widow just takes high ground. And now, what they have to do is they have to expend, if they're not playing the dive tanks, they're playing like Ryan Zarya or something, and they're playing like Junk Pharah or something, anything like of the tanks that, as long as it's not Winston and D.Va, they can't do anything about the Widowmaker and the Hanzo at the same time. Pharah alone gets fucked by the Widow, and it's kind of like a half good, half bad matchup with like, with the Hanzo, right? Depending on how good the Hanzo is. And the Junkrat gets fucked by both. Like, without question. And then if we have dive tanks, they can contest point like how we did on first, right? And then we have our snipers deal with the people that try to like come on the point, right? Because like, I can position myself right here. Like right where I'm standing. I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but like I can play like right here, right above the point, and just shoot at people, right? While our tanks are poking. Or like just rotating each other, right? And then our Widow plays back here, forcing them to be into this right corner, right? They're gonna be forced into this room, like almost always. So then that way, our tanks can literally just contest point here. They're gonna be contesting as well. And then we just try to make a play from there. I don't know if that makes sense.
Do we want to keep running Lucio, or do we switch to Zen?
We probably run Zen. Yeah, we probably run Zen.
So regardless of whether or not they have a Junkrat at that point, I think we run Zen. Yeah, and like in all of these cases, we're running Mercy, right? Like literally,
except goats.
Except for goats.
Yeah, Mercy, like honest shit, and Mercy is good, or not Mercy. Moira,
I think Mercy's the best support in the game.
Moira is good, like
yeah, she's no P, dude.
with like 2 comps, not even.
But regardless, I think that's how we should attack it. Phantom, do you have any insight?
I think that's good. Like, I like taking like the. I'm always like kind of guy who likes to do battle of attrition kind of stuff. So like if it's long range stuff, like I know I'm gonna be able to have my shots. So like, I'm confident in myself when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, and you can play the Widow. I'll do the Hanzo, and then
okay.
We just straight up like just do it like that if we have to, right?
Okay.
That's only if they're running like Junk Pharah, because I don't really see another scenario, or playing like Widow Junk, I guess maybe, and we could do double sniper because I think double sniper is probably good against that as well, because like 2 snipers focusing down a Widow alone is going to be very hard for her to peek, and if they have a Junkrat, like he just loses to snipers, so we probably will be fine. And in another scenario, if they're not running Widow, we could just run Pharah too, but we'll just do it based off the scenario. And yeah, if not, we just run goats.
Yep, and then obviously everything then comes down to shot calling and
committing to the
Targeting,
same
yeah.
target. Yeah, I think we're good here, to be honest.
Yep. I think it was really good, like, app talk.
Well, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
Alright, I think we're good here.
Nice.
That was a...
That was a doozy.
A lot.